twin, spilling on the I-twin. Twin, spilling on the I-twin. What's up with you, man? What's up with you, man? Happy New Year, man. Happy 2026, man. Happy 2026, man. Come on there, man. Happy 2026, man. Welcome to the live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guideline. Welcome to the live chat. 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 Woo! Twin, spilling on the I-twin. Twin, spilling on the I-twin. Hit the like button. Welcome to the live chat. Remember to guard your privacy, abide by community guidelines. Welcome to 2026. Welcome to the Perfect Timing Podcast. You know, last year, our call sign, we said we're going to get this done with a blast real fast. Man, it's brand new year, man. A whole year. Can we just start off the year with some thank yous? I want to start off the year by being thankful, man. Can we come on in, man? We're going to celebrate. It's a celebratory occasion, man. We starting off the year with a thank you, man. Thank you to YouTube, number one. Thank you to YouTube, everybody. Clap it up for the platform. Clap it up. I don't think YouTube get a lot of hate, man. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, YouTube, for the opportunity, for the platform. Thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you to all my members. Join the channel. Membership has its privileges. Join the channel. Membership has its privileges. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my members. Thank you to the Flat Top. Thank you to the Naps. Thank you to everybody who's watched and supported, contributed to the channel throughout 2025 and helped us get here to 2026 midterms. 2026 is an election year. I mean, we put in a lot of work for 2025 in order to be poised for 2026, which is an election year. So exciting to see the turning events in the country, geopolitically, politically. We have a great topic today, but we're starting off the podcast with the thank yous, man. We want to say thank you to everybody that's watched, supported, and subscribed. And I want to say thank you to the president, thank you to Trump, thank you to the administration. You know what I'm saying? 12 months, we're in the second year of a 4-year term. Trump is a second-term president. Most second-term presidents are known as lame duck presidents. You cannot attribute lame duck status to Donald Trump because he's been so prolific, so productive, so successful. First off, with the big, beautiful bill, we have implementation today. Now, I said we have implementation today on the big, beautiful bill. The big, beautiful bill was signed into law July 2025. Only 7 months into the Trump presidency, it started to be implemented November 1st. More things are going into effect January 1st. You got the EBT ban. I got video today. I'm going to show you video today of people of the EBT in Indiana. I told you certain states were going to be stricter than other states. Certain states, I got video, 5 states started the ban yesterday, because a lot of people had a holiday. But remember, I educated you on the 18 states that accepted the waiver for the EBT ban. Soda, candy, juice. Now, people complaining about the soda. They ain't sent their little kid to 7-Eleven with the EBT card and found out you can't go to 7-Eleven no more and buy all the Zuzus and Wham Whams with the EBT card. But that went into effect yesterday. It's gradually going to go into effect more and more. What I really want to say is that just 12 months ago, when President Trump took office, I am so thankful, thankful in a different sense, because President Trump, now think about what took place in 2025. 2025 will be a historical year. It's going to be a historical presidency no matter what, right? There was assassination on Donald Trump. There's 2 assassinations on Donald Trump. We haven't even talked about the Thomas Crown, the person who shot Donald Trump in the ear. So when I say I'm thankful in 2026, as a Republican who voted for Trump, I'm not only thankful for the border security. I'm not only thankful for the peace in the Middle East. I'm not only thankful for the geopolitical status of America and the globe, but I'm thankful that the president is still alive, and you normally I shout out the first person in the chat, but I'm gonna say thank you to you for giving me the opportunity for get you out of here early. Yeah, man, I want to say thank you to Trump, man, and thank you to all of the powers that be for keeping Trump safe and allowing him. I think Trump understands 225 executive orders. This is the most in history in 1 year, right? In his 4-year first term, he only signed 220 executive orders. I think Trump had a determination when they tried to assassinate him 2 times. I think there was an urgency on this administration to get the big, beautiful bill done in the first year, to get 225 executive orders signed in the first year, to get the borders closed in the first year, to get ICE immigration implemented nationwide in the first year. See, these things are not being held up like Obamacare. These things were implemented in the first year. We went to the Supreme Court over ICE. How many ICE fights have we had at the Supreme Court? We've had several. From the first city that ICE touched down, the Supreme Court was interjected by the liberals, right? And what happened? We won every time at the Supreme Court. ICE still does raids. ICE still wears the mask, right? ICE is doing their job to the tune of 250,000. Now imagine if we did not have the ICE implementation. What if we had a weak president? This is why we're starting off today with a thank you, right? Because if we did not have Donald Trump, and then we learn about this Minneapolis, Minnesota Somali fraud crisis that's spread across everywhere we have a Somali community, there would be no way to deal with it. Right now, there's so many people who don't talk about politics on a daily basis. There are a lot of grifters out there. They're saying, oh, Trump better do this and Trump better do that. That's how I know they're not truly supporters of Trump. Relax and talk sports. Double tap at the like button. Relax and talk sports. I know they're not true supporters of Trump, because if there are true supporters of this administration and they understand what this administration has been doing and fighting these battles in the Supreme Court, then they wouldn't be on the internet saying someone has to pay and Trump needs to do something about the Somali fraud. These are clueless individuals who are coming in a day late and a dollar short. These are clueless individuals who are coming in a day late and a dollar short. I don't think they truly support Trump, and I don't think they truly understand why we needed ICE 12 months ago. Can I get a like? Everybody double tap, hit the like button. Biden should pay up. I don't think they truly understand why we needed ICE 12 months ago. See, they want to talk about somebody doing something about the Minneapolis fraud today, right? Oh, Somalian fraud. What are we going to do about it? Tim Walz, you wanted Tim Walz was almost the vice president. Can we have a real talk this morning? Can we have a double tap? Happy New Year 2026. Double tap, hit the like button. You watching the #1 podcast on YouTube. As we talk about the absurdity that's going on right now, you wanted Tim Walz as the vice president. You almost made Tim Walz the vice president. So how can you talk about what are we going to do about the Somalian fraud when you almost elected the individual that was going to make the fraud nationwide? Because to Tim Walz and the Democrats, it's not fraud. If you actually look at what's going on, it's another form of welfare. That's what it is. And they are excited and happy that they have enriched this community, not Americans, right? Not people who look like me and you, right? The Democrat liberals who have aligned themselves with these individuals are excited about them being enriched, because that is donations to the Democratic Party. If you want to know how Tim Walz got on the ticket, now you know how and why Tim Walz got on the ticket. There was money behind. Politics is always about money. We come to find out that Ilhan Omar is worth $30 million and that she had campaigns ran by people who have been convicted of Somali fraud. She had her victory party at the Safari Club. That gentleman was convicted of $5 million in fraud. Did you guys hear me? I said Tim Walz almost became vice president. And people are on the internet today saying Donald Trump needs to do something about the Somali fraud. I am saying that's disingenuous. I am saying thank you this morning to Donald Trump. Thank you to the administration because we have Donald Trump, because we have ICE, Chattahoola Crunch, because we have Charlotte's Web, because we can have the operation in Minneapolis, and it can be there overnight. It can be there lightning fast. We arrested 10,000 in New Orleans, 5,000 in North Carolina in a matter of days. We arrested 10,000 in New Orleans and 5,000 in North Carolina in a matter of days. We cleaned up Memphis in 2 weeks. So when you hear about Minneapolis, don't listen to the haters online saying Trump needs to do something. That's the Trump news, giving Democrats the boo blues, giving Democrats the boo blues. That's the Democrats crying the blues. That's the Democrats crying the boo because they wish that we wasn't poised like a linebacker ready to strike. We already had the blitz in Chicago. Y'all remember the blitz in Chicago? See, this has been going on for the whole 2025. 250,000 deportees arrested. So for all of you worried about Somalia, all of you worried about the Somalian fraud, there's no need to worry because Trump is already on the job. See, what you need to worry about is the Democrat liberals who wanted to cripple the federal government from doing the job that you obviously knew that needed to be done because Doge presented this issue in the beginning of the year. Doge and Elon Musk, I just read, is calling for the Somalian leader in Minnesota to get kicked out of the country and go back home. So Doge told you, hey, we saw a lot of fraud. You think the Somalians stopped doing the fraud when they heard about Doge? No, they kept going. They got $2 million in 1 year and never changed the sign. Can we get a thank you, Trump? That's what I'm saying in the chat. Thank you, brother. I want to say thank you to Donald Trump. Thank you for so many reasons, man. Thank you for everything he's implemented and did not wait. He did not wait. So Donald Trump didn't wait. We can say thank you to Trump. Thank you to MAGA. Let's go MAGA. Freaky Friday 2026. And because Trump implemented these designs that people said were authoritarian, draconian, now we are poised to handle the fraud. And it's a massive multi-billion-dollar fraud. How else could you handle the fraud? Tim Walz in Minnesota couldn't handle it. Did you know they went to court? Did you know that Trump is owed a thank you? MAGA is owed a thank you. This administration is owed a thank you. Double tap and hit the like button. Double tap and hit the like button. Do you understand they went to court? And Tim Walz told them to continue to pay, even though he knew it was a fraud. Tim Walz told them to pay. They went to court, bro. Do you know they went to court? Well, wait a minute. Ilhan Omar is the one who created the policy. I said the congresswoman from the squad who's been married 3 times, she's been investigated right now for marrying her brother. She's the one who put the bill on the floor to create a law that would allow for Somalian immigrants to open up 501(c)(3)s and establish the footing to get this money, right? That's how this train of events happens. Ilhan Omar opens the door and Tim Walz pushes the money through and then they get the votes. It worked for him. He got on the presidential ticket. Is anybody listening? Is anybody listening? It worked for Tim Walz. This is what they're not talking about. Don't get focused on the criminals. Focus on the gangbusters and the leaders. I am saying my argument this morning is it worked for Tim Walz. It's worked for Omar, right? The money that they stole was funneled into campaigns. And Tim Walz got on a presidential ticket. We didn't know who he was. Where did the money come from? Where did the money come from to support Tim Walz? He's still governor and he's still supporting the Somali. The mayor is still supporting the Somali community. Why are they still politicians, especially Democratic politicians? They don't care about anything but money and donors. They are still defending this community because this community is what got Tim Walz on the presidential ticket. Is anybody listening to this shit? I am giving you the breakdown down to the boogie down. It is 2026. It is 2026. Whoa, that MAGA. Whoa, that MAGA. And we starting off 2026 with a big gangbusters. We are starting off 2026 with gangbusters. People upset about Minneapolis, Minnesota haven't been paying attention to Chattahoochee Crunch in New Orleans. Didn't pay attention to Memphis. Didn't pay attention to Dave Chappelle's special. I hear a lot of people trying to break down Dave Chappelle's special, but you know what's bothering me about the lack of intellect for people trying to break down the Dave Chappelle special? Just they don't understand how prolific the special was and how pro-conservative, how pro-Republican Dave Chappelle's comedy really was. We're talking about freedom of speech, right? We're talking about safe borders, and we're talking about stopping the violence. That's what Dave Chappelle's comedy special was all about. When Dave Chappelle talks about Washington, D.C., when Dave Chappelle says, he starts the joke off as a liberal Democrat black and says he's upset with Trump, and he drives back to D.C. as an upset liberal. When he gets to D.C., he's reminded that he's a rich Republican conservative, and he says Trump has done a good job in D.C. That's Dave Chappelle's number one takeaway. Number one, he can speak freer in Saudi Arabia. Number two, Donald Trump is doing a good job. He's done a great job in D.C. He's done a great job in Memphis because he has an apparatus already created and proven successes. Somebody put it in the chat, double tap at the like button. I said because we have a successful apparatus, we can quickly deploy that same mechanism to Minneapolis. And that's what we have done. But not only Minneapolis, I said we are also in Ohio and Washington. Every Somali community, because every Somali community, Doge, can we say Doge? Now, you know what I broke down about immigration and ICE? Just last night, I was having a debate, and we were talking about a raid that ICE was administering in Washington, D.C. And I said, how does ICE know where to go? I've been explaining this to my audience. Anyone in my audience who watches on a daily basis, double tap, hit the like button, like, share, and subscribe. Anybody in my audience who watch on a daily basis, how does ICE know where to go? How does ICE know where to go? I was having a debate and the person was baffled. They couldn't answer the question. I said, have you noticed that ICE doesn't really do investigations? ICE are not detective. ICE already have a location and a name, right? Can you tell me, anyone tell me in the chat, how does ICE know where to go? And where does ICE get the location and the name of the individual that they're looking for? Now, this is huge to the people who think that ICE is doing something wrong and how I am attributing Trump's successes to what we need to do in Minneapolis. So how does ICE know where to go? How does ICE know where to go? Well, let me explain what I told this individual in the debate. I said ICE is not a detective. ICE is not going to cities looking for people. ICE already has an address, a picture, and a name. How does ICE have an address, a picture, and a name? Because the people that ICE are looking for are people who are in the country without paperwork, but they have been arrested for a crime. Listen, everybody at home. Listen, everybody at home. Listen, everybody at home. They are people who have committed a crime. They commit a crime and they have seen a judge. The judge has said, you have to leave. You have to leave the country. So judges have given these individuals deportation orders. Is everybody listening? Take notes. How does ICE know where to go? How does ICE know names of individuals, dates, and addresses? These individuals have committed a crime in America. They didn't go to jail. Some of them went to jail, but the judge has told them, you have to self-deport. You have committed a crime in America, but you was in the process, and maybe we would have given you an opportunity to become a citizen. Maybe you could have applied and took the back door to become an American citizen, but you committed a crime, so you no longer have an opportunity to become an American citizen, even though you didn't come here the proper way. So because you committed a crime, we're asking you to self-deport. Does anybody understand what I'm explaining? So the 250,000 people that ICE have arrested, they say 80% of them are criminals. How do they know that? It's because they've been given deportation orders and asked to self-deport, but they haven't left. They are still in America committing crimes. They haven't left. They are still in America committing crimes. So ICE, under Trump's administration, is rounding up all of these individuals who are remaining in the country after receiving deportation orders and asked very nicely by the American government after you committed a crime to leave the country and go back home, right? To leave the country. So ICE knows where the bulk of these individuals are because of their criminal records. That's why we have certain targeted operations and we're able to arrest 5,000 individuals in days, 10,000 individuals in days. It's not in 1876. We're not going around on horses. You know what I'm saying? We're not going around on horses with cowboy ropes. Oh, let me round up all the immigrants. Oh, yahoo! Yahoo! That's not what's happening, Americans. I don't know why you're not putting on your thinking cap. I don't know why you're not putting on your thinking cap. How do we arrest 5,000 so quickly? How do you arrest 10? Because we know who to arrest. If you can arrest 10,000 in a couple days, you're not investigating. You already have a list of names. You have a list of addresses, and you're just executing. All of these people have deportation orders. All of these people have deportation orders. That's why it's going so fast. That's why it's going so easily. All these people have deportation orders. That's why ICE has been so successful. That's why we can go to one particular location. That's why they're not in every city. This is a targeted approach. How many people have really understood that? This is a targeted approach. We're not just yelling and knocking on anyone's doors. That's not what's happening. They want you to believe that. They want you to dislike Trump. They want you to think that that's what's happening. That's not what's happening. So we want to say thank you to Trump on 2026. We want to say thank you to Trump in 2026. Double tap hit the like button. Whoa, that MAGA. Whoa, that MAGA. Double tap hit the like button, man. All of my deplorables, all of my degenerates. What's going down with you? Let's get into this #1 podcast in the land. Look at that thumbnail. Look at that description. You heard about California, 800 brand new laws. Now, how can Gavin Newsom talk about Donald Trump? How can Gavin Newsom fix his face to talk about Donald Trump? That's what Mama Shirley used to say. How can Gavin Newsom fix his face to talk about Donald Trump when he just signed into effect 800 brand new authoritarian draconian laws in California? Anybody in California? Let's get into the podcast. Double tap and hit the like button. Double tap hit the like button. 2026, man, in the mix, man. Double tap hit the like button, man. Double tap and hit the like button. 2026 in the mix, man. Brand new chain alert, man. Double tap hit the like button, man. We got our rugby on. We got our Ferragamos on. Let's get into it. What's up, MAGA Nation? It's Ole Cap back in the saddle for another absolute firestorm episode. Last week we hit 9,000 subs. Legends, every one of you are a legend. 2026 is our year, fam. 100,000 subs is coming. We just hit 9,000 subs, and 2026 is our year. Disney trips, everything is going down. Princess locked in. The President Trump is straight fire right now, folks. Today's headlines: Trump threatens Iran over their brutal protest crackdown. We're going to do a deep dive on Iran. Locked and loaded. If they kill peace protesters, that's their brutal protest crackdown. Double tap, hit the like button. Today's top news: Trump locked and loaded domination. Trump locked and loaded domination sends a brand new warning to Iran. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Hit the like button. Happy New Year. Hit the like button. Double tap, hit the like button. Happy New Year. Top of the morning, 2026. Let's go, baby. President Trump is straight fire right now, folks. Today's headlines: Trump threatens Iran over their brutal protest crackdown. We're going to get into details over that protest. Locked and loaded. If they kill peaceful protesters, that's our commander-in-chief. Peace through strength. No more weak-kneed Biden appeasement. Trump got the mullahs shaking. Everybody do the Harlem Shake. I said Trump got the mullahs doing the Harlem Shake, baby. Shake, shake, shake. Trump and MAGA got the mullahs doing the Harlem Shake. We starting off today with the Iran story. Let's go, baby. Mike Hurd, FBA in the building. White Mike Hurd, FBA in the building. Double tap hit the like button, man. Y'all know what we talking about right now. Trump sends a strong warning to Iran. If Trump says to Iran, if they kill protesters, that's our commander-in-chief, peace through strength. No more weak-kneed Biden appeasement. Trump got the mullah shaking. Protests flaring. Death mounting. Trump warns, we're watching and America will step in if needed. MAGA red meat. This is classic Trump defending freedom fighters while the fake news twists. Rutgers, NPR, ABC, all reporting Trump's got Iran's number. And get this, Trump retreats on tariffs again. Nah, the strategy delaying hikes on furniture and cabinets, citing ongoing tariffs again. Fortunately, says it's a smart play. No inflation spike. Inflation came in at 2.7, under 3%, keeping China and globalists guessing. Critics cry flip-flop. I call it winning bigly. Economy booming under Trump 2.0. Oh, and the Guardian fake news that Trump's health, he denies falling asleep in the meetings. Perfect. Perfect health, perfect timing, more aspirin than ever. Classic Trump clapback. No naps here. He's grinding 24/7 for us. Trending on X, MAGA posts roasting libs for health hoax while Trump's out here saving the world. This ain't Biden's basement naps. Trump's energy is unmatched. Put that hashtag in the chat. This ain't Biden basement naps. Trump's energy is unmatched. Iran quakes, tariffs flex. 2026 is a MAGA playground. 2026 is a MAGA playground. Double tap hit the like button, everybody. Double tap hit the like button. How's everybody doing this morning, man? Mega MAGA, man. Friday, happy new year, man. Brand new year. Holidays done. We back in 2026 is grind mode. Who ready to grind? No more Sleepy Joe. Who ready to grind? Let's get into this Iran story, man. What y'all know about the Iran story? And we ain't done with the Somalians, man. We gonna get into immigration too. Let's get into this Iran. No. Trump warns Iran of U.S. intervention and deadly protests. Protests erupted across over 35 Iranian cities December 28th, 2025. How many people knew about this, right? Double tap at the like button. How many people knew about the protests in Iran and the brand new updates? This is Geopolitical. You're watching the channel for the #1 news. Back at it like a crack addict, automatic like a fomatic, built for tragedy, made for tragedy. It's your boy, Perfect Timing Podcast, back with the blast, in and out with a dash. 2026 won't last. So we're going to get this done real fast. Thank you all for watching. Double tap at the like button. Today, we starting off our lead story with Trump sends a warning to Iran. There was a bunch of protests over the last couple of days. We're going to show the protests. Let me give you the details of what's going on geopolitically right now. Double tap, hit the like button so you can get all the geopolitical hot updates. Subscribe and join the channel. When you get to subscribe, you're going to get a plus sign. Hit that plus sign and become a member. Whoa, that MAGA. Shout out to my brother Mike Hurd, FBA in the building. Let's get into the story. Trump warns Iran. Did you hear about this? Trump warns, it just got updated 2 hours ago. Trump warns Iran of U.S. intervention in deadly protests. Y'all want to get into the details of the geopolitics of the day? Trump news, giving Democrats the boo-hoo blues, giving Democrats the boo-hoo blues. Protests erupt across 35 Iranian cities starting December 28, 2025, driven by a collapsing rial over 50% inflation. On soaring costs, leading to clashes with at least 6 to 8 deaths, including a 28-year-old barber and 2 teenagers. This is pretty bad, man. Let's get into the details. These are protests that are going on in Iran, and it seems like the protests have sparked over inflation. I've heard about mass inflation in Iran. How many people have heard about the inflation in Iran? I'm looking for something to wipe my brow. Looking for something to wipe my brow. There we go. How many people heard about the inflation in Iran? Let's get into it. So during these protests, it also led to some unfortunate events where 28-year-old barber lost his life, rest in peace, and 2 teenagers. Trump declared on Truth Social that America is locked and loaded. Double tap at the like button. He said America is locked and loaded to rescue protesters if Iran kills them, drawing praise from allies like Reza and Israeli officials, but sharp rebukes from Iranian leaders calling it adventurism. U.S. reactions are split. We're going to talk about it this morning. U.S. reactions are split, with some Republicans urging focus on domestic issues. You know, America first. That's what MAGA voted for, America first. We have all this fraud, billion-dollar fraud in Minneapolis. So that's a valid argument, focus on America, right? But if they're killing protesters, innocent people, America is the leader of the free world. Let's keep going. Let's get some more details. Republicans are urging focus on domestic issues as unrest, largest since 2022, continues into Friday prayers. The White House says if Iran shoots and violently kills protesters, this is from the White House. If Iran shoots and violently kills, this is from the desk of the White House. If Iran shoots and violently kills peaceful protesters, which is their custom, the United States of America will come to their rescue. We are locked and loaded and ready to go. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald Trump. Right? And this is from Truth Social, right? Has everybody seen Donald Trump, Truth Social, on the protest and the response from MAGA and the Republican administration? This is Donald J. Trump, President Trump. Whoa, that MAGA! And Donald Trump's desk is saying, if Iran shoots violently, kills peaceful protesters, which is their custom, the United States of America will come to their rescue. We are locked and loaded and we are ready to go. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Can I get a double tap in the chat? Can I get a double tap in the chat? President Donald J. Trump. He said, we are ready to go. We are locked and loaded. We will not accept any deaths of peaceful protesters. Put a 1 in the chat if you support Donald Trump. Put a 1 in the chat if you support Donald Trump defending peaceful right to protest. Put a 1 in the chat if you support Donald Trump to support the protesters' peaceful right to protest. Peaceful right to protest. Let's take a look. It looks like a peaceful. These look like peaceful. I don't see anything violent, so there should not be any violence. Let's look at these. This is video from Iran, the Iran protests over December 28th. Let's take a look. Do you see violence? Let me know what you see in the chat. Do these look like peaceful protesters? Put a 1 in the chat if you think these look like peaceful protesters. Let's react to this together. Right now, we're talking about brand new Trump news, Trump news, Trump news. We have protests, peaceful protests in Iran. And the Iranian government is out there allegedly, some of the peaceful protesters have lost their lives. Trump has said on Truth Social from the desk of the White House that we will not allow peaceful protesters to be murdered by the Iranian government. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with Trump. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree that these are peaceful protesters. I have video from Iran, December 28. I want you to react with me together in the chat. Let me know, do you believe these are peaceful protesters? Do they have a right? Do they have a right to protest peacefully? What do you see? Let me know in the chat. What's the all I see is ones in the chat. What y'all saying in the chat? I see peaceful protests. I see peaceful protests. What y'all think in the chat? Let's go a little deep dive into this Iran situation. I know y'all wanted to hear. Let me get a little deep dive into this this MAGA, this Iran situation. Okay. Protests kicked off late December 2025 over economic hell. I want to give you a background as to why we even have protests, because it may be writing on the wall geopolitically. Pay attention, 2026 is the election year. Protests kicked off late December. I want to give you a picture of what you're looking at, because the economic hell and the real crashed. I believe that's the currency in Iran. RIAL. The real crashed to local lows, 1.4 million to $1. So it's 1.4 million riyal to $1. Inflation is through the roof in Iran. Inflation ripping through 40%. Food prices skyrocketing. Shopkeepers in Tehran struck first. Shutting bazaars spread like wildfire to 30 plus cities. Isfahan, Shiraz, Masad, western provinces, heavy with clashes. Turn political fast. Chants of death to the dictator, aimed at Supreme Leader Khamenei. Protesters hitting police station, Molotov cocktails flying, security forces cracking down hard, live ammo, Baza paramilitaries involved. Death toll, at least 7 to 8 reported killed. Protesters and some security forces. Rights groups say more, including teens and young adults. Arrests piling up. Internet restricted. Biggest unrest since Mahsa Amini's 2022 murder sparked nationwide revolt. Hundreds were killed back in 2022. This one is an economic spark, but same anti-regime fire. People done with the Ayatollah's corruption and isolation. Trump's alpha move, locked and loaded. Trump posted on Truth Social that we will not allow the deaths of soldiers. This is classic Trump, peace through strength. Direct support for protesters, something past presidents avoided to not give the regime foreign interference excuse. The Iranian regime is panicking. Top officials like Ali Larani, Supreme National Security Council Secretary, accuses U.S./Israel of stoking. He doesn't have any proof. Classic deflection. FM Abbas Araghchi calls Trump words reckless and dangerous, says armed forces on standby. That's their response to Trump. This is the FM Abbas Araghchi calls Trump's words reckless and dangerous and says armed forces on the standby. What is he talking about? Threats against U.S. troops bases in the region. Iran has threatened U.S. troops bases in the region, allegedly, making American forces legitimate targets if we interfere. These are the alleged words from the Iran regime, that the U.S. troop and bases in the regime making American forces, listen, he says, legitimate targets if we interfere. Escalation City, but Trump ain't blinking. Ties back to June 2025, 12-day war. U.S.-Israel bombed Iran nuclear sites. Iran hit back at U.S. base in Qatar. Now protests expose regime weakness post-war. Nuclear angle, regime still reeling. After the U.S. strikes obliterated key sites at Natanz, Fordo damaged hard, Iran claims no enrichment happening. The IAEA access limited, but breakout time stretched way out. Regime says rebuilding peaceful program, but sanctions snap back. Imports tough. No dash to bomb yet. Strikes about time, but mullahs desperate. Economy fueling revolt. This is winning for me. How do you feel about this? Trump's got the mullahs exposed. Brutal at home, weak abroad, protest chanting against theocracy. Remember, we had our talks about theocracy, while Trump backs freedom fighters, echoes Reagan versus the Soviets. Iranians on X begging for Trump support. Isn't it funny how people are turning and they want the support of Trump and MAGA and the Republicans in America? I said Iranians on X, this is their only way of communicating, and there's an internet blockade going on because of these protests, because they want to stop them from communicating. Double tap hit the like button if you're learning anything right now. Double tap hit the like button if you're being entertained. It's your first time here. Double tap hit the like button, like, share, and subscribe. We're talking about Trump warning in Iran. I just showed video of peaceful protests in Iran, and I'm giving my audience a play-by-play of why Iranians are protesting and why the Iranian government is against the protest. You're watching the #1 podcast for geopolitical debate on YouTube. It's called The Perfect Timing Podcast. My name is Perfect. Double tap and hit the like button. If they massacre protesters, Trump signaled zero tolerance could mean strikes on the IRGC proxies or more. Peace through strength, baby. This is why we voted for Trump. No more weak Biden appeasement. Iran quaking, proxies quiet, America first, dominating. Double tap at the like button if you agree with Trump. Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1. I just had to give y'all a deep dive. I just wanted to give y'all a deep dive. Because I don't know how many people giving y'all a deep dive. Locked and loaded. Let's show some more video of protests. Let's get to some more video of protests in Iran. Let me get some more video. What is this right here? President Don, thank you for your support. This is Iranian saying thank you for your support of the Iranian people protest. If you want the Abraham Accords, peace in the Middle East, support the Iranian people, only alternative, Crown Prince. This is the people saying that they are with Trump, supporting the protesters. Let me see if I can get some more video. Let me see what video we got of the protests out here. That's the peaceful protest. What is this? Plainclothes regime, agents speaking Arabic, not Persian. This means Islamic regime in Iran has recruited and dispatched Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthi, and Iraqi Shia mercenaries to assist in quashing the Iranian people's uprising. Did y'all hear that? So reports are plainclothes regime agents speaking Arabic, not Persian. This means the Islamic regime in Iran has recruited and dispatched Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthi, and Iraqi Shia mercenaries to assist in quashing the Iranian people's uprising. This is amazing. What is happening in the world? Would you believe it? I wouldn't believe it. Yapping, stop yapping, get you out of here. Now, how would you feel if Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, who's giving away billions to Somalia, was in charge right now? Somalians should turn on Tim Walz and say it was his scam. Thanks for great update in this. You're the best, Mr. Perfect. Thank you so much, James. LOL. This would not have happened if President Jimmy Carter would have had the head and backed out a leader in Iran in 78. Mr. Who is that? Mrs. Bailey, you spitting right there. You got some facts about Carter in 78. But you know what? Can you blame Carter or is it America? You know, it's the same thing in Ukraine, right? Is it like, because, and it's Democrats, right? Carter is a Democrat, right? It's the same thing in the Ukraine, because we put Zelensky in the Ukraine, right? Biden, Obama was in presidency in 2024, and Biden was in charge of the policy in the Ukraine in 2024, right? So it's the same thing with the regime change, right? We did the same thing in the Ukraine. Now, think about this. When we talk about 78, when you talk about Carter, who was a Democratic president, right? How long has Zelensky been in office? As we talk about the issues in the Middle East and all the peace talks that are going on 2025 and 2026, Zelensky came to office in 2014, right? Under Biden and Obama. How long has Zelensky been in office, right? Zelensky has been in office that entire time. That's not a president. That's like a dictator, right? Why haven't they had elections in the Ukraine? Why haven't they had elections in the Ukraine? Maybe because we've had all these Democratic presidents, right? Maybe why shouldn't they have elections in the Ukraine? Then if you understand my logic in this, then you might understand why Zelensky doesn't want peace. Because as long as there's this conflict, Zelensky gets to stay in power. Zelensky can point his fingers at everybody. Oh, the U.S. isn't giving us everything we need. France needs to help us. Putin is a bad guy. Blah, blah, blah. It's been 11 years we've been listening to him. When are we going to get tired of listening to Zelensky? This is real shit. When are we going to get tired of listening to Zelensky make excuses and blame everyone for his problems as a leader? When does Zelensky have to take responsibility after 11 years? It's been since 2014 he's been president. It's 2026. I say it's day and time that Zelensky has to answer, right? Zelensky has to go through an election and speak to his failures and inability to lead his people out of this conflict, negotiate peace, rebuild his country. It makes no sense. And no one on the Democratic liberal left is even educating you on, well, shit, I know it's the first time some of you have thought about it in the chat. I didn't even think about this. How long has Zelensky been president? Presidents don't be president forever. That's called a king. That's called a dictator. It matters how long Zelensky has been in power, because he's no longer a president if it's an extended period of time, right? Zelensky stops being president and becomes dictator, ruler, emperor, king if he stays there umpteen amount of years. And no one is talking about this on the liberal media. No one's talking about this on the liberal media. No one even has said to you, well, shit, he's right. Shit, he's right. I didn't even think about that. Shit, Zelensky don't get to be president forever. Shit, I didn't even know he was 2014. That's right, 2014, the day of revolution. That's right. That's when the Ukraine overthrew the guy who liked Putin, and then they brought in Zelensky, who was a comedian and an actor, and Zelensky's been there since 2014. I didn't realize that Zelensky's been there that long. How long does he get to be president? When do we call him a dictator? Huh? That is because you are lying. Okay, how long has Zelensky been there, everybody? How long has Zelensky been in power? Y'all find out. Y'all look it up. How long has Zelensky been in power, everybody? Double tap at the like button. How long? You got some thinking to do. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That means America forcing Europeans to sign a treaty on Russia terms. We won't. It's going to be on Russia terms, and Russia's going to win, and Russia's going to do a lot better. This issue. Iran has no water. That's pretty messed up. This fool sucking Trump, man. Okay. Let's keep going, everybody. So this is video in Iran. This is video of Iran. Now, what we're going to watch right here, is we have reports, right? We have reports that plainclothes regime, Arabic-speaking officers, not Persian. That means the Islamic regime has recruited and dispatched Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthi, and Iraqi Shia mercenaries to assist in quashing the Iranian people's uprising. So they got a joint task force over there. Let's take a look at the video. So you see them being there, you see the backpacks, you see the gear, you see them being deployed, you see them coming in. Look at the gear, look at the gear, look at the bags, look at the backpacks. Listen to the language. Take notes to what we're talking about this morning. Double tap, hit the like button. Take notes, everybody watching right now. Take notes. We talk about the Iranian conflict. Trump giving out a warning to Iran. Trump giving out a warning, talking about Trump. And I repeat, this is from the desk of Donald Trump, Washington, D.C. If Iran shoots and violently kills peaceful protesters, which is their custom, the United States of America will come to their rescue. We are locked and loaded and ready to go. Thank you for your attention to this matter, Donald Trump. Thank you to this attention to this matter, Donald Trump. We are locked and loaded for 2026. How you feel about that? How you feel about that? We are locked and loaded for 2026, and we are poised right now. We are poised right now. Y'all ready to go to Minnesota? Y'all ready to go to Minnesota? Y'all ready to go to Minnesota? Huh? Y'all ready to go to Minnesota? What we gonna do before we go to Minnesota? Let's get into this EBT first. Let's get into this EBT, man. Y'all know I was the first one telling you about this EBT, right? Y'all know I was the first one telling you about this EBT, right? In the EBT ban, right? Let's get into this soda ban and let's get into some video. Locked and loaded, baby. Locked and loaded. Hey, no paragraphs in my chat, man. It's kind of hard to negotiate when someone is sits. No paragraph. I'm gonna put you on timeout, bro. No paragraphs in the chat. Don't monopolize in the chat, man. No paragraphs in the chat. Show some respect. No paragraphs in the chat. Y'all trying to monopolize the chat. No paragraphs in the chat. I know that Iran has Arabs and Persians. Blah, blah, blah. No paragraphs in the chat. Put it in the super chat. If you got a paragraph and you want me to address the paragraph or you want the people to see your message, join the channel. You get your name lit up in lights. Join the channel. You get your name lit up in lights. Don't try to pimp out my channel. Don't try to pimp me out. Join the channel. You get your name lit up in lights, or you can put your paragraph in the super chat. That's how you, let's show some respect. Let's teach them some etiquette. Keegan the Farmer, $2, man. Second Amendment. Let's see a super chat. Send a super chat. Second Amendment, man. I'll go sign me up. That's right, baby. Second Amendment, man. I'll go sign me up. You know, I love that comment. You know why I love that comment? Because today I have I got my main topics, but I got some side topics. One of the side topics I'm going to talk about is the First Amendment. And this y'all worried about the wrong thing. You worried about Trump. You need to be worried about your rights, where your rights come from, and freedom. So not only Second Amendment rights, but First Amendment rights are on the table, right? On the discussion. You have billionaires. We're moving into a time where individuals don't care, right? Where people don't care about what America is built on what America is, right? And how these rights came about, why the Bill of Rights and the Constitution are the greatest documents ever. So one of the stories today is going to be about billionaires who are trying to limit your First Amendment rights, and you already know how the Democrats feel about your Second Amendment rights. So let's have a talk about it, man. Let's have a talk about it. Double tap, hit the like button. And I told you again, man, if you got a paragraph, man, put it in the super chat, man. Put it in the super chat, man. Put it in the super chat. If you got a paragraph, you got a request, put it in the super chat. Y'all heard what I said, man. Double tap, hit the like button, man. If you got a paragraph, see a super chat, send the super chat. Y'all seen what Keegan did. And then I addressed Keegan straight up, called his name out. Shout out to Keegan the Farmer. Double tap, hit the like button. Thank you for the $2 super chat. That's how the channel works. That's how the channel works. let's get into it. We're doing another sidebar real quick. We're doing a sidebar. Last month, I'm the first person that I've heard in this space talk to you about the MAGA movement and the MAGA ban. Y'all heard about MAGA? Y'all know what MAGA is? Make America Healthy Again. Well, MAGA sent out 50 waivers to all the states. 18 states accepted the waivers. We broke down all of the states here. We said each state, I gave you the states because I know I got viewers from across all the country, all the world. I gave you all the states. And I gave you the details per state of the EBT bans that go into effect in 2026. Most of all, let you know that soda is not going to be allowed in 18 states. They're going to stagger when it rolls out. They're going to stagger what is blocked and what is restricted. Some states have said they will expand the restrictions. So today I want to show you, I already got some video. I told you, I want you to tell me your state. If you're in Indiana, if you're in Arkansas, if you're in any of the states that have an EBT ban or EBT MAGA waiver restriction, put it in the chat right now. If you have a state and your state has a MAGA waiver, can you put it in the chat right now? Tell me if you went to the store, if you've experienced the waiver, what it looks like on the receipt. Let's get into the details. 5 states ban soda and candy purchases with SNAP benefits. Now think about this, you guys. Think about what I told you. I told you about 18 states, and then I came back and I explained to you something. They only telling you, they saying 5 states ban soda. Like people are not paying attention, right? I don't know if people are paying attention to the big, beautiful bill. They're not paying attention to, we need help in California. No shit, man. 800 new laws. I live in California. We're going to talk about California. Huge. Gavin Newsom is the biggest hustler ever. Gavin Newsom is the biggest hoodwinker ever. Gavin Newsom sitting on Jimmy Kimmel's couch. Gavin Newsom sitting on Stephen Colbert's couch, kicking and screaming and whining about Trump authoritarianism, and then he signs in 800 brand new laws. He's expanding government. Anybody remember? Somebody brought up Carter earlier, so I know I got some OGs in the chat. Anybody know about Eisenhower and the expansion of government? And he talked about the military-industrial complex. When I was a child, I talked the other day, I was doing some research on Jeffersonianism and Hamiltonianism and smaller government, right? You know, when we talk about MAGA, when we talk about Make America Great Again, when we talk about America First, we're talking about freedoms. We're talking about America being smaller. We're talking about government shrinking. That's what Doge is about, because that's what the patriots, when I say shout out to all of my patriots, I hope you guys truly understand. That's why we're shrinking entitlements. That's why we want to shrink government. But Gavin Newsom in California just signed into law 800 brand new laws. Do you understand? It's not only the fact that there's more restrictions on you, who's supposed to be the freest country in the world, supposed to be the freest state in the world. But you know what pisses me off about Gavin Newsom and the Democrats and 800 brand new laws is that how much it costs. California is in debt. Do you know how much it costs to implement all of this new policy? This is what government continues to grow. So you need new departments, new jobs, more taxes. And Californians are up to the fucking hilt in fucking taxes, because how do you implement these laws? Who's gonna make sure the laws are being implemented? All these brand new regulations on the highway, all these brand new speeding, brand new gas taxes, all this brand new shit has to be managed, right? This is a boondoggle. He's talking about Trump building the Kennedy Center and Trump building this motherfucker 800 brand new laws. Do you know how much that expands the budget in California? See, people think it's just about I'm going to whine and cry about I can't drive fast. I'm a conservative. 800 new laws are expensive. 800 new laws are expensive to administer, to maintain, to structure, to implement. It is billions and billions more added to the budget that we don't have now. To have all these brand new laws in a state that's too expensive to live in now. All right, let's get into this EBT shutdown. We're going to get to California. Don't get me started. I live in California, man. I live in California. Don't get me started on Gavin Newsom. And he wants to run for president. And he wants to run for president. And Democrats think he's a viable candidate, and he thinks he can talk down to Trump like he's about freedom, like he's about democratic ideals and liberalism as you implement and make the government larger, make the budget deficit larger as you create more draconian authoritarianism. You want to point at Trump. It makes no fucking sense. But you still haven't fixed the reservoir. You still haven't fixed the fire hydrants. You still haven't fixed the dry shrubbery all around California. Summertime is coming. Summertime is coming. Summer don't love me no more. Summer don't love me. Summer don't love me no more. Summer don't love me no more. Why isn't California fixing California so that we don't burn the fuck down in the summer of 2026? How about you do some controlled burns? How about you clean up the fucking forest? How about you clean up the shrubbery? 800 new laws, all this EPA shit, all this greenhouse gas shit. None of it addresses the fact that California is a tinderbox. None of it addresses the reservoirs. None of it addresses the lack of water. None of it. We're going to get into it. Let's get into EBT. Why aren't you crying about that? Let me get you out of here. Let me get you out of here. Hey, 5 states ban soda, candy, and SNAP benefits. 5 states ban soda, candy, and SNAP benefits. But like I'll trade you progressive Dems for Iranian protesters. That's a good one. That's a good one. So respectful, please relax. You will get a heart attack. There you go. There you go. Double tap at the like button. Double tap at the like button. Double tap at the like button. If California didn't pay federal taxes, the U.S. would have a deficit. No ballroom. Where would they? Should be in the East Wing. Double tap at the like button, double tap at the like button. Right now, we're talking about EBT restrictions nationwide. So 5 states have already implemented the soda ban. I wanted to give y'all the background that the soda ban went out to all 50 states. 18 states actually accepted it. It's funny they don't want to warn you. They want you to be surprised. Maybe they want the news. They want the gotcha moment, right? Why aren't they telling you the whole truth? Nothing but the truth and only the truth. It's not just 5 states, but let's just get into it. 5 states ban soda candy purchases with SNAP benefits. The restrictions come from state waivers approved under Make America Healthy Again, MAGA initiative, led by HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Agricultural Secretary Brooke Rollins. Supporters celebrated as a way to stop taxpayers' funds from fueling obesity and diabetes, which is so important because Obamacare expired. You fell for the fake fraud lie. What a sheep. Obamacare is expiring. So double tap at the like button. Double tap at the like button. So we have to address the obesity. We have to address the disease in America. So this is a perfect way to address obesity, cancer, and disease. Is that stopping federally funding obesity, cancer, and disease by stopping federal dollars paying for things like candy, sugary drinks, juice, soda, and taxable food. These restrictions come from state waivers approved under the Make America MAGA initiative. All 50 states got waivers. All 50 states got waivers. 18 states accepted the waivers. Today we're talking about the 5 states. What is it, January 2nd? Is it January 2nd? Double tap at the like button. I told you this was going into effect January 1st. I told you the big, beautiful bill was coming. I told you changes to student loans, changes to EBT, changes to entitlements. Get into the big, beautiful bill. Be proactive. Learn your politics and be prepared for these changes. I told you these changes were coming. I don't want you to be surprised at the fucking, when you go shopping. I told you these changes were coming, right? Okay, now, Brooke Rollins and supporters celebrate the way to stop taxpayers funding obesity and diabetes, while critics like some SNAP recipients in Indiana say it unfairly limits grocery options and could increase food insecurity. I don't know how soda can increase food insecurity. What does this say? Chat, double tap the screen, like, support, subscribe, support channel. Is free to be a member of a patriotic channel. Thank you for that. So check this out. People in Indiana said it's unfairly limits grocery options and could increase food insecurity. More states, up to 18 total. Remember what I told you, more states up to 18 total will follow through in 2026 with similar bans on sugary drinks and snacks, aiming to steer benefits toward nutritional foods amidst rising chronic disease. But it's not just those 18 states. It could expand to even more states because all 50 states got the waiver. Let's get into the video, anecdotal evidence, what we dealing with here in America on the streets right here. As Americans work full-time saving $32 an hour after taxes, insurance, she brings home $3,200 a month, rent, utilities, childcare, consumes $2,800 before food and gas. This isn't cost of living, it's slow financial chokehold. We're not listening to that shit, man. Breaking starting today. Utah, Nebraska, Indiana, West Virginia are banning sugary drinks. So that's the 5 states right now. So we got 18 states. We read 18 states last week. 5 states as of the first of the month. Let's read them again. 5 states has implemented the ban as the first of the month. Utah, Nebraska, Iowa, Indiana, and West Virginia, January 1st. Snap ban, right? Here's a map right now. These new limits are being I want to show the people a map right now of the states that got the ban implemented right now. This is the map right now, but this is just today. More states are implementing this ban right now. Utah, Nebraska, Indiana, West Virginia, they started their bans today. Let's listen. States enacting new SNAP restrictions.
Virginia, who receive government help for groceries, will see some new restrictions. These new limits are being imposed on junk food like candy and sodas as part of the Make America Healthy Again push. Let's bring in Dr. Virginia, who receive government help for groceries, will see some new restrictions. These new limits are being imposed on junk food like candy and sodas as part of the Make America Healthy Again push.
These new limits are imposed as part of the MAGA push. That's what's happened. 5 states today, 18 states in total. Let's get some more details. 5 states today.
You should be able to buy.
18 states in total. Food stamps, SNAP ban. Double tap at the like button, everybody. Double tap at the like button. Number 1.
John Hurst doesn't like it and says he should be able to buy whatever he wants.
It's not okay. I mean, it's part of grocery, ain't it? And stuff.
The Gary resident is one of many customers at Save More Foods reacting to the new policy change. Indiana is one of 18 states planning to start restrictions on Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program benefits, or SNAP, by 2026. More than 570,000 Hoosiers use SNAP to help pay for groceries in any given month. Known as Smart SNAP, the effort directs the state's Family and Social Services Administration to improve the health of residents by aligning SNAP benefits with healthier food choices. According to state data, John Hurst doesn't like it and says he should be able to buy whatever he wants.
It's not okay. I mean, it's part of grocery, ain't it?
It's part of grocery, ain't it? It's part of grocery, ain't it? It's part of grocery, ain't it? It's part of grocery, ain't it? Double tap at the like button. It's part of grocery, ain't it? It's part of growth. Double tap at the like button, man. No more soda, man. No more soda, man. We talking about the EBT shutdown soda ban right now, man. EBT shutdown soda ban starting Thursdays. Americans in 5 states who get government help paying for groceries will see new restrictions on soda, candy, and other foods they can no longer buy with their benefits. We breaking it down right now this morning. Double tap. Hey, what's up with your Miss
Food benefits?
Double tap at the like button. We breaking it down this morning. I've been talking about this. I've been warning people for a month. This is what I do on my channel. I like to educate the audience. I want to educate the electorate. I want to educate the electorate. I actually care about you. I actually care about you. I care about you being informed. We started on this weeks ago. We listed all 18 states. Now people are surprised. I don't want you to be surprised. I don't want you to be surprised. This is not going to stop with these 18 states. It is not going to stop with soda. I read to you, this waiver is expansive. This MAGA initiative is expansive. It is not just about soda. It is truly tied to obesity and diabetes rates. We have child obesity, right? We have child obesity, child diabetes. I worked in healthcare for over 20 years. Obesity and diabetes got so bad in America that the healthcare provider I worked for had to open up a children's obesity department for child diabetes, right? Doctors specialize now in children obesity, children diabetes, and it all can be cured by diet. It's not the fact that the kids are sick because they have something wrong with them. It's their diet, brothers and sisters. It's their diet, brothers and sisters, right? So when we talk about Obamacare has died, can we get a double cap? Obamacare is no more. There's no more hope and change. Mike Johnson and the Senate and the Congress and the majority-led Congress stalled the vote on Obamacare to let the Affordable Care Act subsidies expire. What we're dealing with today is not only EBT bans, but Medicaid has gone up for 40 Americans. As of January 2nd, Obamacare subsidies have expired. Congress, I don't even know if Congress is back in session. Do you guys know, is Congress even back in session? Congress went on a Christmas break. Thank you, Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson has forced the Democrats now to come up with something better than Obamacare, come up with something better than the Affordable Care Act, because you brought the American people the Affordable Care Act in 2008. Remember I talked to you about Zelensky? Because no one does math on the Democratic Republican side. No one does math on the Democratic Republican side. I said Zelensky's been president for over 10 years. Then I said 2008 is when you got this other shit. No one is doing math on the Democratic Republican side of how we got here, right? So now we already have obesity rates in children through the roof. Who knows about the 4 basic food groups in American schools, right? How do we have these obesity amongst children? It's not just American adults. The adult obesity, the adult diabetes is so bad, it's bankrupting America. I'm bringing up children to let you know how bad it is. I'm saying the problem has gotten so bad with fat, unhealthy Americans, adults, that has trickled down to their children. It's bankrupting America. This is why Obamacare had to be created, because Americans are so fat. These stories are all intertwined. If we talk about EBT restrictions, if we talk about diabetes, if we talk about obesity, if we talk about overabundance of food in America, how can you not talk about the Somalians claiming to be starving in America and stealing money for food? How can I talk about EBT restrictions and Somalians not receiving restrictions, Somalians receiving billions of dollars? How can we talk about Americans being so fat that they get sick? Think about what I'm saying to you. How can I say to you, my topic right now is Americans being so fat, eating so much food that the federal government pays for, that they get sick, but Somalians are starving? Does that make sense to anybody? We have obesity rates skyrocketing, diabetes rates skyrocketing, because America is so generous. America gives away so much money so that people don't starve, that they are sick and fat. But Somalians need to steal money. Somalians need to steal more money on top of the money that America. How is it that Somalians need more money for food when Americans get so fat off of federal funding that they get sick? It don't make sense. It's sick. Now let me get into this story. Let me get it. I had to go there. I'm going to go more into Minnesota. I'm going to go more into Minneapolis. We're going to talk more about Somalians and the fraud. But I couldn't just talk about welfare. I can't just talk about EBT. I can't just talk about everyday Americans and EBT and welfare and not bring up the welfare fraud from Somalians. I can't just talk about obesity and diabetes because I want you to think. I want you to think in your mind just like me. I want you to be a thinking American. I want you to be a thinking individual. I want you to say to yourself, damn, he's right. Americans are fat and it's federally funded. Damn, the American government does give Americans so much money in food stamps that they could buy soda and sugar and get fat and get sick. So why did Somalians need fucking money for food? Damn, I don't like this guy, but he's making sense. I just want you to think. 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 That's all. I just want you to think. Let's get into the video. Let's get into the video.
Several states tonight are set to change which items people can buy from the grocery store with their federal food benefits. Now, the restrictions, which begin tomorrow, target junk food. Meg Oliver reports on the impact.
Giving up junk food may sound like a New Year's resolution, but for some SNAP recipients, it will soon be the law. On New Year's Day, 5 states will prohibit items such as soft drinks or candy from being purchased through SNAP. By the fall of 2026, that will balloon to 18.
This is the full map. Did you hear what she said? By fall of 2026, it's going to balloon to 18 states. Take a look. Double tap at the like button. If you're new here, double tap at the like button. If you didn't know if your state is being affected, this may be the first time that you've seen the SNAP restriction map. Check it out. SNAP restriction map, fall 2026. 18 states, soda and junk food subsidy. Let's get into it, everybody.
In states.
It's about nutrition, and there's no nutrition in these products. We shouldn't be paying for them with taxpayer money.
The move is part of the government's Make America Healthy Again initiative, designed to reduce obesity and chronic diseases like diabetes.
We all agree that we want people to have opportunities to have healthier foods.
Stephanie Silvera is a public health professor at Montclair State University.
This sounds like a good thing, but is there a risk to this as well?
Of course, we don't have a good definition of what do we actually mean by ultra-processed foods, right? Where are we drawing those lines?
Hawaii's limits apply to just soft drinks, Indiana to soda and candy, and South Carolina to candy, energy.
I like this graph. Let's break down this graph real quick, everybody. Everybody at home, double tap at the like button. Everybody at home, double tap at the like button. Let's break down this graph because we've been talking about this. And sometimes you need visual. Hey, this is a damn shame right here, man. This is a damn shame. This is messed up how they feel about Americans. Like, I've been reading you the list. I've been talking to you, but Americans, sometimes you need visual aid. Maybe they think the people who get EBT don't know how to read. I don't know. But if you don't know how to read and you visually needed someone to show you what's going to happen, let me show you right now what's going to happen and what's happening right now. So Hawaii is going to ban soft drinks only, right? Indiana, soft drinks and candy. But wait, South Carolina has one of the most expansive bans, and they're going to ban candy, energy drinks, soft drinks, and sweetened beverages. So pay attention, everybody. These are the differences. It's going to vary by state. That's what's important here to learn this morning. The bans are going to vary by state, right? Certain things will be banned in one state that won't be banned in another state. Also, the implementation of the bans also will vary. 5 states implemented yesterday, and it will take, I think, until August before all 18 states who accepted the waiver will implement. Some states are implementing in April. It's important that you find out if you have family members or if you live in a state and you are currently receiving EBT, you should check if you're one of these 18 states, when did the restrictions go into effect so you don't be surprised when you go to shop. Okay, let's get back to the video. Double tap at the like button. Perfect Time Podcast. We're going over the EBT restrictions for 2026. 5 states so far have banned soda. 18 states by the middle of 2026.
drink soft drinks and sweetened beverages. One South Carolina shopper favors the ban.
I used to buy candy all the time, and then we'd run out of food sometimes.
But Silvera is concerned it could make the problem worse.
If what we're simply doing is cutting access to those foods without also providing better access or more affordable access to healthy foods, we're going to see a lot more people go hungry.
That's because healthier food tends to be more expensive. Silvera suggests adding a tax on less healthy food to bring the cost down on more nutritious choices.
All right, Meg Oliver, thank you.
Did she say add a tax? Is that the Democrats or the Democrat solution? So Trump's solution, they said add a tax. Their solution is add a tax. Trump's solution, Trump and MAGA solution is to stop people from buying food stamps, stop people buying soda with food stamps. The Democrat solution is add a tax. The Democrat solution is add a tax. That makes no sense. We might have to do a different thing with the I might have to do a different style with the podcast, because I'll keep flipping it, and then YouTube don't like when I flip it, because I'll be flipping it, and then every now and then they get upset. They should ban nationwide. SNAP ban soda and candy. Other food takes effect in 5 states January 1st. We just played the video. We just played that video. Breaking the state of Utah has just officially implemented a ban on SNAP benefits from being used on junk food. Let's go. What is this right here?
Restrictions. These new limits are being
imposed in 5 states. Agree. Read your Bible again. Read your Bible again. What you talking about on this channel, man? Double tap, hit the like button, everybody. Double tap, hit the like button. We still talking about MAGA news, Trump news.
Who receive government help for groceries will see some new restrictions. These new limits are being imposed on junk food like candy and sodas as part of the Make America Healthy Again push. Let's bring in Dr. who received government help for groceries will see some new restrictions. These new limits.
We're going to see some new restrictions. What else we got? Florida, Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma will be banned later this year. I got some more videos on EBT snap ban. What's up, everybody? I'm talking about the EBT snap ban. Come on in. Double tap, hit the like button. Man. EBT snap.
We'll see some new.
Commissioner McCary and so many others.
EBT snap ban. We talking about the EBT snap ban. 5 states implemented. By the middle of the year, we're going to have 20 states implemented. Double tap, hit the like button, everybody. My girlfriend is disabled. She still works. She still goes to work. That's not funny. Double tap at the like button, everybody. Come on in. Let's have a good.
Of Indiana, Iowa, Nebraska, Utah, and West Virginia who receive government help for groceries will see some new restrictions. These new limits are being imposed on junk food like candy and sodas as part of the Make America Healthy Again push. Let's bring in Dr. Houman Hamati, board-certified MD and PhD research scientist. Doctor, good morning. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Mike. Thanks for having me.
I would like to start with the FDA Deputy Commissioner for Human Foods, and then I'll get you to weigh in.
We finally have an administration in place that's willing to tackle these big problems. It's going to start with the dietary guidelines for Americans. They touch things like school reform, school lunches, WIC, SNAP reform, and a number of other federal programs. And really what Secretary Kennedy and this administration wants to do with the dietary guidelines is return to common sense.
Do you support this effort to stamp out junk food?
100%, Mike. Under Secretary Kennedy and FDA Commissioner McCary and so many others in the administration, there's been a renewed focus on keeping Americans healthy, making Americans more healthy by recommending and actually helping to fund foods that are healthy. This is common sense, like he said in the clip you just played. Right now, for food stamps, for SNAP benefits, the #1 expenditure is soft drinks, sugary sodas. Number 4 is bagged snacks. Number 11 is candy. Why are we funding things with food stamps that are not food? Yes, they're fun, but we may as well be paying for cigarettes and alcohol. It's not right. And in fact, it's making Americans far more healthy. I worked in East Baltimore, Johns Hopkins, when I was in residency. I had a large proportion of my patients as young as 30 who were going blind from diabetes, who needed amputations. This isn't right. We must at the same time address the fact that many poor Americans live in food deserts where there is no access to good, healthy food. So I think the administration would really benefit people in this public health crisis by making food that's healthy available in those inner city and rural communities just as much as they're withdrawing support from paying for food stamps money for unhealthy foods. And I think if we do a dual pronged approach, we can dramatically improve public health.
All right. That is very alarming. That is very illuminating and alarming at the same time. How many people knew that soda was number one? I didn't know soda. Let's go back. I want to hear that again. Soda is number one. Soda is number one expenditure when it comes to EBT and food stamps. That's the number one thing that we pay for. That's the number one pay that we pay for is soda. How many people knew that soda was number one? Let's listen to that again. Soda is number one.
There's been a renewed focus on keeping Americans healthy, making Americans more healthy by recommending and actually helping to fund foods that are healthy. This is common sense, like he said in the clip you just played. Right now, for food stamps, for SNAP benefits, the number one expenditure is soft drinks, sugary.
The number one expenditure is sugary soft drinks. That changes this whole discussion. That's number one. We've been saying in the chat, MAGA, Maha, make America healthy again, make America great again. We've all been saying in the chat, we agree. Don't buy sodas, ban everything. We all agree. The sodas is leading to diabetes, obesity. We got some intelligent people. W chat, number one chat, W chat, double tap at the like button. We got an intelligent chat. We doing our hard work. So people agree sodas shouldn't be funded by the federal government, right? So we all agreed on that. I did not know how much money is being spent on soda. I just thought that we gonna be healthy. I didn't know it was Doge. Somebody earlier put Doge in the chat. Double tap W chat, double tap at the like button. Somebody earlier put Doge in the chat. So Doge, this is just like ICE, right? This is just like ICE and the deportees. This is like everything that Donald Trump does that we have to deal with this hyper propagandist media now where you don't understand the reality of what's really happening. So we got hella propaganda. We got hella propagandist media right now. There's no understanding to what's actually really happening, right? So first we say, okay, yeah. First we say, yeah, we're gonna do. First we say, yeah, we're gonna do. First we say, yeah, we're gonna do. We're gonna do a ban, right? First we say, yeah, we're gonna do a ban on soda. We're gonna do a soda ban, right? But no one actually breaks down the fact that how much money is being spent from EBT on soda. Like, this is Doge. This is the effects of Doge understanding waste, right? So when people say we're going to cut food stamps and we're going to cut back entitlements, and everybody whines and cries and doesn't understand, well, why are they cutting EBT? Why are they cutting entitlements? People think it's racial. It's not racial. What they happen to have knowledge of is that people are not buying food. Now, how many people understood that? That's amazing. That people are not buying food. People are not buying food. They're buying soda and candy. So when you're working for Doge and you're a conservative Republican and you don't believe in food stamps and you don't believe in certain social programs in the first place, it has to be very hard to convince a conservative who doesn't believe in this type of social engineering to continue programs that actually don't provide what they claim to provide, like Obamacare, like Head Start. Do you know why the Department of Education was closed down? Do you know why the Department of Education was closed down? The Department of Education, Trump closed the Department of Education, stopped programs like Head Start because these programs in department said, if you give children a free breakfast, if you do all of these things, then the children will perform better in school. But sadly, the children are dumber in America. Our illiteracy rates have skyrocketed under Head Start, under the Department of Education, under all of these democratic liberal programs that cost so much money. The Department of Education, Head Start, kids can't read. If you recall, there's this issue with white boys, Mexican boys, and black boys not being able to read. How many people knew about that? That's why the Department of Education gets closed down. So then you have this same thing with food stamps, and no one is buying food. Instead, we have skyrocketing healthcare costs and trillion-dollar benefits going to insurance companies. So Obamacare is created, right? But they let people get fat and get obesity. Was this a part of Obamacare? Was this like a backdoor deal with Obamacare that you're going to make so much money, insurance companies, because we're going to give Americans free food and access to poor food, and then everyone will get sick, and then everyone will need health care? Because I'm telling you, I'm older, right? I'm sick, I'm older. I got the gray hair, right? I don't remember healthcare being so important to Americans 40 years ago because everybody was healthy. Everybody ate real food. Why is healthcare the number one thing now? Because everyone is sick. But why is everyone sick? It's because everyone is eating poison. Well, when I was a child, healthcare wasn't, people would go without going to the doctor. Who listened to some famous black comedians? Some famous black comedians talk about jokes where their grandfather never went to the hospital. A lot of rednecks from Skokie, Oklahoma, talk about a grandfather who never went to the doctor, right? This is recent American history, but in 2026, everyone needs a doctor. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? We're legally now, they want to legally make you, by law, you have to have a doctor. Why do I have to have a doctor? I have to have a doctor. I have to have health insurance. Just a couple years ago, they said I have to get a shot. They didn't give me a choice. I'm supposed to be a free American. Now you're telling me I have to put something in my body. Then you're telling me I have to have a doctor. I have to have insurance. I'm not an American without a doctor. My grandfather didn't have a doctor. My grandfather never went to the hospital. But now in 2026, Obamacare comes in 2008, and Obamacare says I have to have a doctor legally. Legally, you have to. So you couldn't give me free healthcare, right? Obamacare promised us free healthcare. You couldn't do free healthcare. You couldn't do a single payer option, but you could do authoritarianism, right? Like Gavin Newsom. You could create a law that says I have to have health insurance. You didn't give me free healthcare, right? You promised me free healthcare. You said Israel has free healthcare. You said every major country has free healthcare. Americans, that's what Obama said, hope and change, right? Everyone should get free healthcare, but we did not get free healthcare, right? What did we get? We got insurance companies that makes trillions of dollars. You promised us single payer. You couldn't give a single payer. What did we actually get? We got a sicker, fatter, more obese country. So who wins? Who wins if insurance companies get this windfall, plus you have more sick Americans, and then you make a law. Then you make a law that says Americans, now we never had a law before. Think about this. Donald Trump got rid of it, right? Thank God for Donald Trump. Donald Trump got rid of it. That's what killed Obamacare. Obamacare died December 31st. But remember, Donald Trump got rid of, it was mandatory. You had to get it. You know, like car insurance in California. Remember, Obama said you had to get health care. This is the only way. This is the only way that we get it, right? Everybody gets in the pool. This is the only way the insurance companies got rich. This is the only way the insurance companies got rich. Remember, it was a hustle. It was a hustle. It was a mandate. Trump got rid of the mandate. This is why we voted for Trump. Get up against the wall. Exactly. You're being robbed. Get up against the wall. Trump, I don't believe how Democrats forget about this stuff. How do you forget about this stuff? There was a mandate. There was a mandate. Obama took your rights. Your grandfather never had to go to the hospital. Before Obama, there was no law making you have a doctor, making you have insurance. After Obamacare, and you didn't get what he promised. Think about, he promised you free healthcare. He promised you single payer. He promised you all of that. All you actually got was a brand new law mandating you to now have a doctor and have health insurance. By law, that's what you got. Think about it. And if it wasn't for Trump, you would still have this expansion of government. If it was not for Trump and MAGA, you would still have this expansion of government mandating you to have a doctor and mandating you legally to have health insurance, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? And I know you don't get it. I know because they don't tell you the facts, right? You don't remember the mandate. Obamacare was one of the biggest jokes, right? They don't remember the mandate. They don't remember that Trump said the mandate was unconstitutional. That's the only reason we don't have the mandate right now. So what did Obama really do? What did Obama really do? If you look at the status of the country, if you look at obesity rates, if you look at diabetes, if you look at sick children, if you look at the facts on the ground, who makes money from sick Americans? Why did Americans get sicker? They weren't this sick when I was a child. We didn't have obesity rates. If you guys look at the trend, the obesity rates have gone up. Since the Democrats have taken office, obesity rates have gone up. And it's tied to policy, right? He talks about the food, the basic food groups and lunch programs at schools, right? So I believe this was part of Obamacare. More sick Americans, the insurance companies got rich. Now, how do you think the insurance companies feel about restrictions on EBT? You think the insurance companies are happy? You think the insurance companies are happy that there's more restrictions on EBT, that Americans will be healthier? There are less sick Americans. They need to go to the doctor less. They need to access healthcare less. They buy less medicine. Think about your favorite football game. I'm watching football and Pfizer and the number one commercials when I'm watching my football game are all medicine. Everything on television, every commercial is about a pharmaceutical. The number one commercials are pharmaceuticals on everything. The number one commercials are pharmaceuticals on everything, right? Why are we so sick? Why do we need to consume so much medicine? Why do we need to go to doctors so much? Let's take a look at this video. Double tap at the like button. We having an excellent conversation this morning. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for watching. Let's go, MAGA.
Indiana, Iowa, Nebraska, Utah, and West Virginia, who receive government help for groceries, will see some new restrictions. These new limits are being imposed on junk food like candy and sodas as part of the Make America Healthy Again push. Let's bring in Dr. Houman Hamati, board-certified MD and PhD research scientist. Doctor, good morning. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Mike. Thanks for having me.
I would like to start with the FDA Deputy Commissioner for Human Foods, and then I'll get you to weigh in.
We finally have an administration in place that's willing to tackle these big problems. It's going to start with the dietary guidelines for Americans. They touch things like school reform, school lunches, WIC, SNAP reform, and a number of other federal programs. And really what Secretary Kennedy and this administration wants to do with the dietary guidelines is return to common sense.
So let's first break that down. So that you understand. They have changed the dietary guidelines for WIC and school lunches. Did you guys know pizza was a basic food group? How many people have kids in school and knew, you had the 4 basic food groups. How many knew that pizza? Remember that, what was it? Super Size Me. There was a Netflix special, right? There was a Netflix special that talked about how certain things are linked to cancer in the basic food groups for school lunches, and that pizza was on the 4 basic foods that was supposed to be like broccoli, and then next to broccoli is pizza, literally pizza, right? And everybody saw that Netflix documentary, but nothing changed. Remember, we saw that Netflix documentary, but nothing changed. We were all surprised, right? We were all like, broccoli, and okay, that makes sense, but pizza on the 4 basic foods for our children in elementary school, but nobody did anything. MAGA and MAHA is doing something about it. They're making changes to WIC and to school lunches.
And really what Secretary Kennedy and this administration wants to do with the dietary guidelines is return to common sense.
Do you support this effort to stamp out junk food?
100%, Mike. Under Secretary Kennedy and FDA Commissioner McCary and so many others in the administration, there's been a renewed focus on keeping Americans healthy, making Americans more healthy by recommending and actually helping to fund foods that are healthy. This is common sense, like he said in the clip you just played. Right now, for food stamps, for SNAP benefits, the number one expenditure is soft drinks, sugary sodas. Number 4 is bagged snacks. Number 11 is candy. Why are we funding things with food stamps that are not food? Yes.
Number 1 is soda. Number 4 is bagged snacks. Number 11 is candy. Write that in the chat. Number 1 is soda. Number 4 is bagged snacks. Number 11 is candy. Not fruit, not milk, not meat, not grain. You know what I'm saying? Not rice, not legumes, not cabbage. You know what I'm saying? Not canned vegetables, not canned tuna, right? Not canned meat. No. Number 1 is soda. Number 1 is soda. You would think food stamps, think about what's happening in our country. You would think number 1 would be meat. Number 1 is meat, always, right? Number 1 is meat, without a doubt. Number 1 should be meat. All right, after meat is vegetables, right? Meat, vegetables, rice. The top 3 things on EBT should be meat, vegetables, and rice. Then you got milk and bread and eggs, right? Milk, bread, and egg. But meat, vegetables, rice, milk, bread, eggs, right? How is it soda? How is soda number 1? How is number 4 bagged snacks? How is number 11 candy? Where is the meat? Where is the milk? Where is the bread? Where is the eggs? Where is the vegetables? This is why obesity and diabetes, because people is not eating food. They're eating processed goods. Number 1, if we're giving out food stamps, number 1 thing you should buy is meat, vegetables, right? Meat and vegetables, rice, beans, bread, milk, and eggs. I agree with, we should just have a box. There should just be a box. You should just come pick up a box where I give you meat, rice, vegetables, bread, milk, and eggs, butter and sugar. Go make your own candy. Go make your own soda. Seasonal fruit. Let's just do a box. I give you bread, I give you milk, I give you eggs, I give you vegetables, I give you water. Maybe, if it was 20 years ago, they wouldn't even give you bread. I give you flour. I give you flour and eggs and sugar. You make your own bread. I give you flour, eggs, and sugar. If you want bread, bake your own bread. If you want candy, make your own candy, right? Take the oranges and the sugar and go make you some orange candy, right? But this shit is crazy, bro. This shit is crazy, bro. Number 1 is soda. Number 4, let's listen again. Number 1 is soda. Number 1 is soda. Number 4 is bagged snacks. Number 11 is candy.
Others in the administration, there's been a renewed focus on keeping Americans healthy, making Americans more healthy by recommending and actually helping to fund foods that are healthy. This is common sense, like he said in the clip you just played. Right now, for food stamps, for SNAP benefits, the number 1 expenditure is soft drinks, sugary sodas. Number 4 is bagged snacks. Number 11 is candy. Why are we funding things with food stamps that are not food?
Why are we funding things with food stamps that are not food? Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. This is a doctor. Put it with no cussing into my chat. No profanity. I love you. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with this doctor, right? Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with this doctor. Why are we funding things with food stamps that are not food? People like me will spend cash on junk food. Thank you. Why are we funding? Now listen, it's called food stamps. This is a doctor. He went to school. He went to medical school. He specialized. Think about how simple. Now, I get excited. You might be excited at home. Think about what I'm saying. Why are we funding the purchase of food items with food stamps that are not food? Why are we paying for things that are not food? We are not saying stop Americans who are hungry from buying food with their food stamps. I hope everybody is listening. Can you hear what I'm saying at home? Trump and MAGA is not saying stop Americans from buying food with their food stamps, right? This doctor, a diabetic doctor, a specialist in diabetes and obesity, he said, why are we funding the purchase of things that are not food? Soda is not a food. Candy is not a food. Processed bag snacks are not food. This is a hell of a question. Why are we the government? Why is the government funding the purchase of things that are not food, right? This is a hell of a question, boy. Hell of a question, boy. Hell of a question, boy. This is a hell of a question. Double tap at the like button. Let's get back into it. Let's get back into it, man. Let's get back into it, man.
Yes, they're fun, but we may as well be paying for cigarettes and alcohol. It's not right. And in fact, it's making Americans far more healthy. I worked in East Baltimore, Johns Hopkins, when I was in residency. I had a large proportion of my patients as young as 30 who were going blind from diabetes, who needed amputations. This isn't right. We must at the same time address the fact that many poor Americans live in food deserts where there is no access to good, healthy food. So I think the administration would really benefit people in this public health crisis by making food that's healthy available in those inner city and rural communities just as much as they're withdrawing support from paying for food stamp money for unhealthy foods. And I think if we do a dual-pronged approach, we can dramatically improve public health.
All right. We can dramatically improve public health. That's the goal, everybody. For everybody getting upset, the goal is to improve public health, and is more important now as the Affordable Care Act expires. Do you understand it's more important now as the Affordable Care Act expires? Do you understand this is more important now as the Affordable Care Act expires, right? So we need to improve the health of Americans, because there's not going to be this safety net that you get to go to the doctor and get a pill for everything that bothers you instead of getting out and going for a walk, right? Instead of getting out, going for a walk and losing some weight, you got to go get a pill for everything, right? That's not what's going to happen. Check this out. Immigration crisis is crushed, leaning hard into border chaos. Let's get into it. Immigration crushed, leaning hard into border chaos. All right, Patriots, time to lean in hard to immigration. Double tap at the like button. Hit the ice reset. Time to lean hard into immigration. The crisis Biden created. Kamala is the border czar. Is she the border czar? I don't know if she's the border czar. She could be the border czar if she wants. Ending the latest from USCIS Visa Bulletin, January 2026 out. Family/employment preferences advancing, but fees spiking. January 1st, H-1B overhaul, DHS prioritizing higher skills over lottery, protecting American workers. No more cheap foreign labor. No more cheap foreign labor. Double tap at the like button. Double tap. We going into the immigration crisis right now. Double tap at the like button. Double tap it. I'm deleting your criticism too. Double tap at the like button. We're going into immigration crisis crust right now. We're going into I'm not taking no shorts. It's 2026. We ain't taking no shit in 2026. Put it in the chat right now. We ain't taking no shit in 2026. Come on, everybody. We ain't taking no shit in 2026. Oh, every troll, rock and roll. I said we ain't taking no shit in 2026. Huh? Double tap, hit the like button. We ain't taking no shit in 2026. Huh? Double tap. We ain't taking no shit in 2026. Huh? Double tap it. We ain't taking no shit in 2026. Huh? We ain't taking no shit in 2026. Huh? Thank you for all of it. You can come and troll. You can come and troll and say whatever you want. Just understand the spokesperson. We just put it in the chat, hashtag. Just understand the spokesperson just said what the trend is going to be for 2026, man. You're getting blocked. You're getting booted. You don't get to participate in the best geopolitical conversation on YouTube. There's no one else having this intelligent discourse. Whether you agree with me or not, you're not going to find another channel with a live stream with someone who's this well-versed on political issues that allow you to interject and have the conversation. My chat goes wild, man. My my chat goes wild. Millions of views, thousands of chats, people interacting. This is the place you want to be. If politics is on your brain, if you wake up thinking about politics, if you already knew about Gavin Newsom and the 800 brand new laws, if you already knew about the EBT ban, if you knew about the immigration crisis, if you knew 250,000 have been deported, if you knew how well ICE is doing, then this is the only channel where you can come talk. If you disagree with ICE, if you disagree with ICE wearing the mask, if you disagree with ICE wearing the mask, somebody just joined and became a member. Saltwater Life just became a member. Shout out to you for becoming a member. He understands this is the number one place, only place to have this discussion. Whether you agree or disagree with ICE or not. Who else is talking to you about the implementation? ICE, baby. Too cold, it's like ICE, baby. Just go back home. See, Saltwater Life, you new here. You don't know my song. Everybody who been a subscriber, everybody who know my song, sing my song right now. ICE, baby. Too cold, it's like ICE, baby. Just go back home. You gotta get your Trump hands. You gotta get your Trump hands like this. ICE, baby. Too cold, it's like ICE, baby. Just go back home. That's the song. That's the song that we created here on this channel. That's the song to make everybody get along. Double tap, hit the like button. Just go back home. I said, how does ICE know where to go? I said, how does ICE know where to go? I said, how does ICE know? I said, ICE, how does ICE arrest 5,000 in Chattanooga Crunch in 1 week? How does ICE arrest 5,000 in the Charlotte's Web in 1 week? I said, ICE has targeted locations. ICE knows the address. ICE has pictures. Why? How does ICE know where to go? Because these individuals have committed a crime. They have came into our country without permission and got arrested for criminal activity. When they got arrested for criminal activity, a judge gave them deportation orders. Why did a judge give deportation orders instead of sending them out? Because it's very expensive. The Biden administration had a lax approach. Is anybody listening? The Biden and the Democrats had a lax approach toward immigration. Because you should be asking, why didn't they get deported? Why didn't they get deported? They got deportation orders. Does anybody, let's define it. Let's help some people out. You know I like educating people, right? You know I like educating people, right? Let's educate the people. Crime committed by your barber, homie. I like my flat top. You get to stay because that's funny. You get to stay because that's funny. I like that joke. So let's look up deportation orders, because I keep talking about this, deportation orders. That is funny. That is funny. Deportation, officially known as removal orders in U.S. immigration law since 1996, are legal directives, again, Democrats, issued by immigration judge, the Board of Immigration Appeals, or certain Department of Homeland Security, DHS official. They require a non-citizen to leave the United States due to violation of immigration laws. Common reasons include entering without inspection or proper documentation, overstaying visa, like a lot of Somalians in Minneapolis, committing certain crimes, right? Let me break down what ICE is doing, why ICE has been so successful. Committing certain crimes, fraud, like Minneapolis Somalians, or misrepresentation of immigration process. Why are we getting 250,000? No one actually talked about how, damn, that's a lot. Trump, 250,000. Do people think that the feds are doing like criminal investigations when they get to Charlotte? Do you think they did 5,000 investigations in Charlotte? Do you think they're doing investigations when they get to Memphis? Do you think they're doing investigations when they get to New Orleans? Do you think they're doing investigations? No. The process is what I'm explaining to you. How did we get 250,000 in 1 year? How do we get thousands in 1 week? It's because they've been given deportation orders, right? I had to explain this to you. I'm giving you the foundation of ICE and this whole blitz, in this whole 250,000 deportees, and how we can say with success that there 70% of them are criminals. How no one ever asked the right questions. You're not thinking, you're not asking the right questions. When you hear these numbers, when the Democrats say, when Rachel Maddow says, oh, Trump is bad, he arrested 250,000 and deported, no one says, how did they get to that number? Where did they find 250,000? Let me explain it to you. They're called removal orders. Hello, they're called removal orders. So what happens is 10 million people came across, and by Republican numbers, it's 25 million. But the Democrats said 10 million. Remember Kamala Harris? She's black. Well, she is black, or she wants to. I don't care if she's black. Is she the border czar? Remember Kamala Harris was the border czar, but she's not the border czar. The border got overran. Kamala Harris said, "Don't come." So people came across, right? When they got here, they committed a crime. Let me tell you. Since 1996, and that was another Democrat. So these are legal directives, removal orders or deportation orders. They saw a judge. Remember, the Democrats said they get to see a judge. They get to see a judge. They haven't seen a judge. The Democrats said they get to see a judge. It's America. Well, guess what? How did we get to 250,000? Because they saw a judge. They saw a judge. Let's shut them down this morning. Shut them down. Shut them down with real facts. Let's shut them. 2026, we ain't taking no shit. 2026, we ain't taking no shit. Let's shut them down with real facts. Let's shut them down with real facts. They saw a deportation judge. And the judge said, you have to leave the country. They require a non-citizen to leave the United States due to violation of immigration laws. Common reasons include entering without inspection or proper documentation. Entering without inspection or proper documentation. Can we take a beat on that right there? Because what I've said since the beginning, the problem with Biden, Kamala Harris, is that not that they open the border and that Americans don't have a big heart. I think the biggest problem, the most evil and sinister thing that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden did by opening the border is that they did not have proper processes and logistics in place so that you could inspect and properly document everyone coming across the border. Inspect if a woman was pregnant, if a woman was with child, if someone was sick and needed to be quarantined, if someone was a criminal and not eligible, if someone was a member of a cartel, inspect and properly documented who came in so we know who and we know how many, because everyone here has a social security number. Everyone here has a birth certificate. We know everyone here. You understand? Everyone here is documented. I'm not trying to be absurd. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not being absurd. When they should have had a processing facility like Ellis Island, they should have had a processing facility to make sure everybody was inspected and documented, just like me and you. When we are born, we are given birth certificates. We are given Social Security. Remember Doge? Remember Elon Musk talking about how dead people were getting Social Security and SBA loans and shit like that? Everybody's documented. You have a driver's license number. Who knows their driver's license number by heart? I know my driver's license number by heart. Who knows their social security number by heart? I know my social security number by heart. Guess who else knows my social security by heart? The government. The government knows my social security number by heart because I'm documented. And when you come to America, just like me, just like you need to be documented, right? So we know who's here. We know who's here in case a crime or emergency happens. We know who's here. I just had to take a little pause right there. Because one of the reasons you can be removed from America is if you haven't been properly inspected or properly documented. Can anybody tell me if the people who came across during the Biden administration were properly inspected and properly documented? Can anybody tell me if the people who came across during the Biden administration were properly inspected and properly? I just want to know, because that means all of them could legally be sent back. This is the law, 1996. I'm reading it to you. Biden and Kamala didn't set up the proper facilities, right? Biden and Kamala didn't set up the proper logistics, correct? Biden and Kamala didn't have an Ellis Island on the Texas-Mexican border. They didn't have a processing facility to make sure everybody got inspected and documented, correct? So just on the fact of the law, you know, not sanctuary city, because sanctuary cities are not constitutional based in law. You know, ICE-free zones are not constitutional based in law, right? Right. That let me break it down to you, right? Those things are not based in law, understood? Those things are not based in law, understood, right? But this is the law right here. This is the law right here. I'm reading to you the law, right? The law says you can be removed from the country if you weren't when you entered without inspection or proper documentation. So everybody who came across, not possible to properly inspect that many. Well, I disagree with you because we did it before. And thank you for saying that. I love when people disagree because then I can educate you. And when I educate you, I educate the audience, right? That's not true because we did it before. Do you know what Ellis Island is? How many people, do you know what the Statue of Liberty is? How many people came through Ellis Island? Because he said we can't do it, right? You talking like uncle, you being an uncle. Come on now, let's keep it going. 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 Let's keep the education going. How many people came through? Sorry about that. Something didn't go as planned. Try again. How many people came through Ellis Island? Let's keep it going. Let's keep it cordial. Let's keep it respectful in the chat. Let's keep it respectful in the chat. Approximately 12 million immigrants passed through Ellis Island between 1892 and 1954. See, they don't teach kids American history anymore. They don't teach kids American history anymore. They don't teach kids American history anymore. They don't teach kids American history anymore, so they don't understand. So I know a lot of times I'm talking ahead of my audience, and I know that's not the fault of me. You know, that's just the audience, and you know, I just got to keep on educating you guys. It just gives me more meat on the bone, and it lets me know how much more education you guys deserve and how much time, how much more you need. 13 million in 80 years. There you go. I just wanted to educate them. I'm not even yelling at them. I'm not upset because I know that they don't understand the mistake that Biden and Kamala, and I know no one is giving them this perspective. No one is giving them the perspective that Kamala and Joe Biden made such a horrible mistake. How do children get separated at the border? Do you guys understand if we had the proper facility and we had the proper procedure like we did in Ellis Island, families wouldn't have got separated. Children wouldn't have gotten lost. Women wouldn't have gotten taken. Women wouldn't have gotten hurt. Do you know how evil and sinister what Biden and Kamala did by opening the border unprepared without proper process? It should be criminal. If you were a parent, you would go to jail. If you were a parent, you would go to jail for what Biden and Kamala did, for doing something like that unsupervised without the proper facilities. And people didn't know that we did it before. 12 million immigrants passed through Ellis Island between 1892 and 1954. This is the most commonly cited figure from reliable sources, including the Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island Foundation, National Park Services, and the Library of Congress historical accounts. Ellis Island served as the primary U.S. immigration station during the peak era of European immigration. The busiest period was from 1892 to 1924, when the vast majority, around 12 million total for the full operation, were processed before stricter quota laws in 1924 reduced numbers, only about 2 to 3, 4 millions more from 1925 to 1954. The peak year was 1907 with over 1 million immigrants processed, and the single busiest day was April 17th, 1907 with 11,000 people coming across the American border through Ellis Island being processed. Now, this would have created jobs. This would have created an infrastructure. America would have got really what it wanted. If America needed more labor and more American people, then they should have done what they did in the past. Like on my channel, I've talked about we've done this correctly before. What happened with Biden and Kamala is not the immigration, it's the fact that the way that they did it incorrectly, and we know how to do it correctly. We did it correctly before. We did it in a way that would benefit America and also benefit the people coming here. It not only benefited America by documenting the people, right, and inspecting the people, it benefited the Americans and the people who came. This process was a beneficial process. Remember the Statue of Liberty, bring me your masses, bring me your tired, bring me your hungry. When you go to New York, one of the things you want to look at is the Statue of Liberty and what it represents for the American people and American history. It's not just the fact that America is the land of the free and home of the brave. The Statue of Liberty should also represent to you, just like when we went to the moon, how the logistical prowess and proficiency of your grandparents and the American people in the eyes of adversity. When we had a arms race, we went to the moon first. We got there first. When we needed help, we built and created Ellis Island. Our grandfathers and forefathers were proactive in these situations, and this is how successful they were, and this is how you do things correctly. Isn't it funny how we have regressed in our policy and our politics and our administration of these things? How can we go backwards? Can people explain to me, how have we gone backwards? We've gone backwards. Like you would think we would create a better facility. If Biden and Kamala wanted to open the border, you would think they would have created a better facility and a better process. They would look at Ellis Island the same way I'm looking up. Let me show you pictures of Ellis Island. Let me show you of what this looked like, the processing facility. You would think they would take examples, right? You would think they would take examples. This is the processing. You see everybody here? These are Americans, and they're documenting and expecting everyone is in line. No one gets into the country, right? No one gets into the country without first being documented and inspected. If you're sick, you have to go to the doctor. During this time, there was a smallpox epidemic, and so they would quarantine people who had come from certain places if they had smallpox or potentially have been exposed to smallpox in order to protect the American population, right? Ellis Island. This is Ellis Island. Ladies and gentlemen, you may not have heard about this because you may not have learned it in school. Right? But this is American history. This is how you do immigration correctly. This is American history. This is Ellis Island. This is everybody in line. These are all the immigrants who have to wait hours online. 11,000 in one day, 12 million immigrants processed, right? Through this facility, and via this facility, we were able to ensure that everyone was inspected and documented, right? Everyone had to be birthed. This is Ellis Island. This is America. This is the proper way you do immigration on a mass level, in a mass scale. We've done it before. We've done it correctly. Kamala and Biden failed those people. Kamala and Biden failed the American people. They failed to protect you. When they did not inspect and document all of the immigrants who came across the border, Biden failed one of his primary promises as president to protect you, That's his job. In case you didn't know, his job isn't to help immigrants. Americans have a big heart, but Biden's job was not to help immigrants. Biden's job was to protect you. Thank you, quarantine. You had just came out of a quarantine. You had just came out of a pandemic. Why would you open the border, Biden? Your primary job as president is to protect Americans. So you needed to inspect the people who came across to make sure they wasn't sick. to make sure they wasn't criminals, to make sure they wasn't mentally sick or insane. None of that happened. Everybody came. We come to find out Chinese came across the Mexican-American border. They making you think it's all Latinos. We come to find out that people from Yemen, people from Yemen came across the Mexican-American border. We like, wow, what, Chinese immigrants? I thought Chinese can just come here. People from the Middle East came across during the Biden administration. How do you know that? Well, we had 2 accidents on the highways where Americans were killed. Did you guys know that? The reason I bring up non-Latino immigrants is because we had 2 car accidents on American highways by people who came to the country in 2022 coming across the Joe Biden-Kamala Harris border. And they came to California and they got CDLs despite not being able to speak English, not being able to read English, and they got into a car accident in Florida and they got into a car accident in California and Americans were killed. That's what happens when you don't do immigration the proper way. That's what happens when you don't do immigration the proper way. This is the fact of the matter. I just wanted to read you that. Because a lot of people don't know. Right? So first, what we were doing is we going over immigration and ICE. We're going to go to Minneapolis, but I was telling people how does ICE know where to go. So I was giving people what a deportation order is or removal orders, right? Under the second Trump administration, which began in January 2025, immigration enforcement has intensified, listen to this, significantly focusing on mass deportations and ending certain protection. Deportations in 2025 reports vary slightly, but DHS and ICE data indicate approximately 600,000 to 622 formal deportations occurred in 2025. I am sorry, you guys. I've been saying 250,000. I'm reading right now that deportations in 2025 reports vary slightly, but DHS and ICE data indicate approximately 600,000 formal deportations occurred in 2025. That's what I'm talking about. Did y'all know that? I thought it was 250,000. I read 250,000 last week, but instead it's 600,000. Let's keep going. This is higher than recent years, but below the promised 1 million annually. So we got more work to do. Self-deportations. As estimated, 1.6 to 1.9 million people voluntarily left via programs like CBP Home App, which offers incentives such as a $1,000 bonus, free flights, and fine forgiveness. So we cooking with gas. These are the numbers why 2026 is going to be a red year. 2026 is going to be a Republican year. 2028 is going to be a Republican year because of so much productivity and so much delivering on what people voted for. This is what people voted for when they voted for Trump, when they said the borders were overran. Kamala Harris herself said, don't come. Joe Biden himself admitted the border had become a crisis and a problem. He tried to blame it on Kamala and shift the blame to Kamala and say she was the border czar. But both Democrats and Republicans at the end of 2024, when Trump took office, admitted the borders needed to be closed and we had a problem with a leaky border. Now we see that Trump has deported 600,000 under his new administration, and self-deportations are close to 1.9, almost 2 million people voluntarily left. You heard about the $3,000. You heard about the $1,000. So based on that program, over 2 million people have left. This is why job numbers are going up. This is why inflation is down, because of the work that Trump has done to secure the border and make sure individuals here are following the law, and if not, going back to their country, right? And making sure people like the people in Minneapolis stop frauding the country and getting over and stealing. That is a direct benefit to your pocket. Now let's keep going. Trump and this program offered people $1,000 to self-deportate. You get a free flight and you get forgiveness, right? So if you leave on your own under the Trump program, we're going to give you money to relocate. We're going to fly you to where you want to go, and we're going to forgive the crime because the way you came here was against the law. But we're going to forgive that. Maybe in the future, you or your son or children will be able to reapply and come back to America if you want to. You don't have to, but if they forgive the crime of you illegally coming into the country, then you got action if you want to do it the right way. I don't see how Trump could be a greater, more benevolent president. Total departures, over 2.5 million people. Double tap in the chat, MAGA. Double tap. Over 2.5 million people deported/self-deported left the U.S. in 2025 due to enforcement pressures. The Trump administration cooking with gas. This is why we're going to be looking so good in 2026. This is why we're going to be looking so good in 2026 and 2028, because this is what people actually voted for. This is what people actually voted for. And I have seen video reports that the effects of these changes have been realized by Americans. Y'all remember seeing the video of an American mother who said ever since Trump came to our city and arrested the 5,000, the 10,000, more people left. And what she said was that there's less people on the roads. There's less traffic. Thank you, Trump. I have seen video after video after video of people who live in Charlotte, people who live in Baton Rouge, people who live in Memphis, people who live in the cities where Trump has gone and the immigration has been cracked down on. I have seen video after video that have said, Trump, this has been a positive effect on this city. This has been a positive effect on the city, on the traffic, on the crime, on the communities. Thank you, Trump. That's what I hear time and time again. That's what I hear time and time again. So double tap, hit the like button. 2.5 million deportees in 2025, 225 executive orders, 2.5 million people deported or self-deported in 2025 alone. We have 3 more years of this Trump presidency. They said 10 million. If we keep going at this number, we may be able to get out all of the people who came here under Biden and Kamala. It's going to be so important. This is what we're going to run on in 2028. This is what we're going to run on in 2028. We're going to run on the fact that Trump deported the 10 million people who Biden let in. And then we're going to say to the American people, do you want an open border again? Do you want the effects of the open border again? Because if you vote for a Democrat, he's going to open the border, and everything Trump did to get all those people out of the country, they're going to redo, and your wages will go back down and your quality of life will go back down. Do you think the American people will understand? Do you think the American people will understand? I think it's a winning argument in 2026 and 2028. I believe it's a winning argument. Policy changes, temporary protected status, TPS, ended for many countries. Humanitarian parole programs were slashed and expedited removal expanded. This stripped legal protections from 1.6 million people, making them eligible for deportation. That's why we're moving forward. Policy changes, real politics, ongoing efforts, plans for 2026. This is immigration crackdown, ICE, and how it affects you. Bro, having immigrants pay taxes. Plans for 2026 include further expansion with increased funding for ICE/CBP, workplace raids, and enforcement in sanctuary cities. Border crossings hit historic lows, shifting focus into interior removals. Immigration judges issued hundreds of thousands of removal orders in fiscal year of 2025. Listen to that. Immigration judges issued hundreds of thousands of removal orders with high rates of orders in completed cases. I said, how do they know where to go? How do they know where to go? The judges are issuing the removal orders and ICE is going to the location. That's why there's no investigation. That's why they're so successful. How do you get to 2.5 million? That's what's happening. That's what's happening. Don't worry, I'll help you out. Don't worry, I'll help you out. If you're facing deportation order or need specific advice, consult an immigration attorney or check official status via the EOIR automated case information system. Resources like USA.gov provide overviews of the process. AZ doing the cleanout. Arizona, New Orleans, Charlotte, Memphis, Tennessee. We have Republican support. Illinois, California. We're in St. Louis, East St. Louis. Trump has done a great job. We already at 2.5 million. Let's say if we keep track. Let's say if we track with 2.5 million a year for each year Trump is president in his second term, that's 10 million people sent back. The estimates from the Democrats were 10 million people came across. Now, MAGA said 25 million, but just the fact that under Trump that we will get 10 million of the people who came across during the Biden administration. Now imagine that. I just said Ellis Island, 12 million people came across in how many years? Somebody put it in the chat. It was like 40 years. The bulk of the people came across like in 10 years, but because of Biden and Kamala, that's why Kamala had that weight wrapped around her neck, is because that type of immigration happened in the matter of a 1 or 2 year time span. America couldn't absorb that amount of people, right? And that's why the Democrats are going to be plagued with that for the next 10, 20 years when it comes to politics. What you did when you opened the border. What you did when you opened the border. That's just a fact of the matter. They're going to be plagued with that for the next 20 years. Their lack of planning, because right now I'm the only one bringing up Ellis Island, but I won't be the only one bringing up Ellis Island. Other people will bring up the fact that the Democrats did not properly logistically handle the immigration. If they were going to open the border, there were a proper way to do it, and there was a blueprint. There was a proper way to do it, and there was a blueprint. So let me just give you that right there. Let's give you that right there. So right now, let's get into this immigration. Double tap at the like button. Double tap at the like button. Immigration leaning hard. MAGA posts on immigration border crisis. Latest searches show crossing plummeting under Trump. Protests over Biden's open border legacy. States like New York and Texas begging for relief. I showed you a video of a mayor in California begging for relief. Keyword go. Trump MAGA immigration. Posts blasting Dems for voter suppression myths while ignoring real threats like fraud. My take, this is red meat for the base. Trump's restricting entry EO from December, blocking threats to U.S. security. States fighting back. New laws in 2026 on AI immigration and raids protection in schools. But libs like Newsom, sanctuary madness, we've done with the catch and release, deportation surge incoming, over 500 ICE agents in Minnesota alone, Operation Metro Surge crushing it, not only in Minnesota, but in Ohio and I hear in Washington going after Somali fraud ties, criminal records, bye-bye, analysts say 2026, break down deportation records. High illegals draining billions of dollars while Americans struggle no more. Trump's walling it off. Zero tolerance. MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. This is why we voted for Trump. Border security now. Let me get some more details of what's going on in Minnesota. I got some more fire about what's going on in Minnesota right now. The U.S. freezes child care funds to Minnesota over fraud allegations. I think I got Trump talking about that. Let me see. Okay, let me go to this one. U.S. freezes child care funds to Minnesota over fraud allegation. How many know? So Nick Shirley I've been talking about the fraud. Nick Shirley probably saw my video, saw my views. Nick Shirley probably saw my video, saw my views. Nick Shirley goes to Minnesota on the ground. It's always good when you got the funding and the money, but man, I'm telling you, man, 2026, man, y'all stick with me, man. Y'all subscribe, support the channel, hit the super chat. I need everybody watching right now. Hit the like button. I'm going to ask a big favor. Everybody watching right now, hit the like button. If you're being entertained, if you're learning, hit the like button, man. Fraud claims hit Somali-run daycare centers in Minnesota. Hit the double tap. Journalist Nick Shirley faces death threats after daycare fraud expose. So Nick Shirley does the great expose, right? Based on my information and the fraud that I presented. Like I showed the video of the lady talking about Somalians went to 2 places in the globe. They went to Minneapolis and they went to Switzerland. And in both places, they did the same fraud. And I showed a video of a European woman who said the Somalians do the same type of fraud, play by play. And everywhere they go, this is not by accident. This is by design. This is a way that they hustle and get their money. So Nick Shirley must have seen my report. Nick Shirley goes out to Minnesota. There's an on-the-ground report of what he sees out there. And Trump follows up. And Trump and the Trump administration, let's say it like that. Trump and the Trump administration has now shut down funding. Now this could have been done. This could have been done under the last administration. Nobody didn't do nothing. Let's get into it, man. U.S. freezes child care funds to Minnesota over fraud allegations. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services halted all federal child care payments to Minnesota after videos reveal licensed centers, many Somalian-owned, appearing vacant during business hours despite receiving hefty subsidies like $1.9 million for one site with 99 slots. Now, when they talk about $1.9 million, let's remind people that was $1.9 million in 1 year. That place with the misspelled learning sign, they got $2 million in 1 year. They had enough money to fix that sign. They blamed it on the printer. You could have bought a new sign from another printer because you got $2 million in 1 year for 99 kids. Please tell me, what do you need $2 million? How much is that per kid? Let's do a math real quick. How much is that per kid? If you're getting $2 million in 1 year and you got 99 slots, that's not fraud. They still open. They're not even afraid. They still open. They're not even afraid. How much is that per kid? They got 2 mil for 99 kids. How much is that per kid? Let's find out right now. How much is that per kid? We're doing the news. If distributing whole dollars, every kid with $20,000 left over, if each kid gets $20 with $20,000 left over, so it's like $20,000 a kid, $20,000 per kid. If distributing whole dollars, $20,000 per kid. That's 99,000 kids, man. Why AI do that, man? 99 kids, not 99. That ain't right. Why AI do that, man? On today of all days. And it should be a simple answer, man. How simple, God damn, I made simple put how much. AI be playing with you sometime, man. 20,000 per kid. 20,000 per kid. So let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. The U.S. Department said $1.9 million for one site for 99 slots. Department Secretary Jim O'Neill cited serious fraud claims involving $185 million in annual funds, demanding audits. attending logs and launching a fraud hotline, while Governor Tim Walz called it a ploy to defund aid, and skeptics noted legitimate home-based models. So the thing is, the Democrats want to keep 20,000 PK, 20,202. Thank you. Y'all quicker than me, man. Y'all quicker than me. Thank you for that good math, man. Double tap at the like button. We got some real people in here. It'd be so many people trolling, man. Do you realize that you are desperately trying to discredit someone despite the fact you don't even, okay? Let me get these people up out of here, man. I tell you, YouTube, man. YouTube, I don't know what to say, man. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow's a weekend, so I ain't gonna fuck with it. But I might have to do like where I flip the laptop around and I just pop up the laptop, because today when YouTube took me out, that did the momentum thing, man. Hello, everyone. When YouTube took me out, Latanya Smith, what's up? Man, we talking about right now, Minnesota immigration ICE fraud. You know what I'm saying? 1.9 million to the Luring Center. They changed the name. Did y'all know they updated the name? They got the name. As soon as Nick Shirley did the video, they changed the name to the Learning Center. 185 million in annual funds, demanding audits, attendance logs, and launching fraud hotline, while Governor Tim Walz called it a ploy to defund aid and skeptics. So Tim Walz is defending the theft. This is what's going on right now in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Double tap at the like button. Tim Walz is defending the theft, right? And he said this is legitimate models. Minnesota's past scandals. So this is not the first time Minnesota has been investigated for these type of scandals, like the 250 million feeding our future fraud, with DHS now raiding sites, right? We have frozen all child care payments to the state of Minnesota. This is the result. So 0 of them on the right. Now, this is the result of the fraud and the theft. So now all people in Minnesota is going to be affected by this small group, by this small community. It's horrible. The Leaning Center, no R. The leaning the leading center. That's what they was doing in there. They was in there sipping lean. So it was Learing Center, and they didn't have no N. They left off the N. So it was Learing. They left off the N, but it's the same thing. It's still hella funny that they was in there leaning. Yes, Washington. It's happening in Washington and Ohio. It's happening I saw reports. I had some stuff about Washington and Ohio. We might be able to get to that. Yeah, I got Washington, and we did Ohio last week. But let's get to this shutdown. We have frozen all child care payments to the state of Minnesota, not just Minneapolis. That's cold. You have probably read the serious allegations that the state of Minnesota has funneled millions of taxpayer dollars, listen, to fraudulent daycares across Minnesota. Yes, we did. We heard about that. So let's break this down. We're gonna watch this video.
Let me be crystal.
And we're gonna watch this video, and then we're gonna break this down one by one. Thank you to Trump. Yeah, go Trump and the Trump administration. Because people today was on the internet talking about Trump better do something. I said, this people ain't really Republicans. Y'all don't really support what we talking about, because you shouldn't be online talking about what Trump better do. Like today, I gave out the numbers. Trump 2.5 million, 6 million total deported, like 2.5 million deported, self-deported, $1,000 payment plan, free flights. Like when people talk about Trump, they don't know what Trump is actually doing. Those individuals saying Trump needs to go get the people in Minneapolis, remind them that Trump has 2.5 million deportees in 2025. And this is the plan for Minneapolis right now. We're going to get into details. They have stopped federal funding to Minnesota.
Hello, I'm HHS Deputy Secretary Jim O'Neill. I'm here with Assistant Secretary Alex Adams. Alex oversees the Administration for Children and Families. Intrepid journalists have made shocking and credible allegations of extensive fraud in Minnesota's child care programs. We believe the state of Minnesota has allowed scammers and fake daycares to siphon millions of taxpayer dollars over the past decade.
My office, ACF, provides Minnesota $185 million in child care funds each year. That money should be helping 19,000 American children, including toddlers and infants. Any dollar stolen by fraudsters is stolen from those children. Yesterday, I spoke directly with the director of the Minnesota Child Care Services Office. She could not tell me with confidence whether those allegations of fraud are isolated or whether there's fraud stretching statewide.
Today, we have taken 3 direct actions against the blatant fraud that seems to be rampant in Minnesota. First, I have activated our Defend the Spend system for all ACF child care payments across America. Starting today, we require a justification, receipt, or photo evidence before we make a payment. Second, I have just signed and sent a demand letter to Governor Walz. I required a full 360 review of these centers. This includes attendance records, licenses, complaints, investigations, and inspections.
And third, we've launched a dedicated fraud reporting hotline and email address at childcare.gov. Whether you're a parent, a provider, a member of the public, we want to hear from you. Let me be crystal clear. ACF expects every state to uphold the highest standards of oversight, monitoring, and accountability for federal dollars. Minnesota is no exception.
We're committed to holding bad actors accountable. Regardless of rank or office, anyone who's involved in perpetrating this fraud against the American people should expect to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
Produced by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
So this is official. This is official. Let's read it together. Let's read it together, everybody. I'm gonna read it together. Let's read it together. They just said it. So people have been saying today that Trump needs to do something in Minnesota. Trump is already on the ball. Trump administration is on the ball. Let's read it right now. There's going to be a 3-point prong approach to what we see. And then, you know what? I said it's going to affect all of Minnesota. I was wrong. This is going to affect all of America. Just like the EBT and the SNAP, people think it's not 5 states. It's 18 states, and pretty soon it's going to be all 50 states. So did you hear what he said? Let's clarify. Let's read it. What he said, he's going to say this brand new qualification is for all states. So Minnesota has led to everybody in the entire, all Americans. The Somalian fraud, because it is so large, we're talking about almost $9 billion. He said 10 years. They said 10 years of fraud. So the fraud is so large that they had to implement a change nationwide. They implemented a nationwide change because they didn't want to just fixate on Minnesota, because Minnesota might not only be the only problem state. So he said nationwide, if you have a child care center, you're going to have to go through this brand new certification process. Now, remember, in the big, beautiful bill, you're going from a 1-year certification and entitlements. Remember, before Donald Trump in the big, beautiful bill, what's up with your BGP? How you doing? How you feeling? How you living? Before, in the big, beautiful bill, you had to certify for your entitlements every year. Now, in the big, beautiful bill, you have to certify twice a year, twice annually, every 6 months to get your food stamps. And in the big, beautiful bill, because of the fraud, the secretary said she wanted everybody on food stamps to reapply. And you have to reapply and certify every 6 months. Now, more restrictions. More entitlement restrictions because of the Somalian fraud in Minneapolis. Number 1, I have activated our Defend the Spend system for all ACF payments. That's not just Minnesota. That's not just Minneapolis. That's the entire country because of the fraud of one individual. I have activated our Defend the Spend system for all ACF payments. Starting today, all ACF payments across America will require a justification and a receipt or photo evidence before we send money to the state. Now, why? Yes, valid ID. Why was that not the law already? 5.0, 5.0, 5.0. Why was that not the law already? Please tell me. Listen, doesn't that sound kind of odd? Doesn't that sound kind of odd? So, in answer to the fraud in Minnesota, this is great. We need this. This is what Doge is all about. Double tap at the like button. This is what Doge is all about. Hit the super chat. I got a brand new member today. We got super chats today. Everybody, thank you. 2026 has been a great year. We having a fire podcast today. Everybody watching, double tap at the like button. Listen to this, man. How was that not the law already? It says, listen. in response to the fraud in Minnesota daycares, because Minnesota daycares have been able to fraud the system, right, by simply saying, I have 99 kids, I need 1,000 meals, give me this amount of money. And the government was sending the money. There was no verification process. Listen to what we're learning. Listen to what you're learning of how, because people are saying, oh, Nick Shirley was wrong. Nick Shirley didn't prove anything. This is the law and how the loophole existed. Have, number one, he said, I have activated our defend the spend system for all ACF payments. Starting today, January 2nd, 2026, Donald Trump is the greatest president ever. All ACF payments across America will require a justification. So that means we were sending out payments without justification. I don't get paid without justification. Do you get paid without justification? How many people are surprised? How many people are surprised? How many people are surprised? This is how the fraud happens. As I read this, I'm surprised, and you should be upset. What do you mean you sent money? That's how the Learning Center with misspelled learning got so much money in 1 year, because there was no verification process. There was no verification process. I have activated our defend the spend system for all ACF payments. Starting today, all ACF payments across America will require a justification. How were they getting paid before? How were they getting paid before? I just don't get it. Will require a justification, a receipt, and a photo evidence. What was the form? I need to see the form. Hey y'all, like I said last week, everyday Americans who follow the law, we are the dummies. The way I read this, I look at it as me and you, we are the dummies. I believe in God. I love my country. You know, I love my God. I love my kids. I love my wife. I love my president. I love my country. I wouldn't steal. I believe in helping people. That's why Americans get screwed over. I believe in helping elders, helping the homeless, right? Even though I'm Republican, right? Because I believe in Christian. I believe in my God. I love my country. So I believe in helping people, right? There's no idea. But sometimes when I read this, I think like I'm the idiot. I must be the idiot. I must be stupid, because people are getting rich. They're not working hard. They're getting rich. And then when I read how they're getting rich, I'm saying to myself, well, wait a minute. Are we giving away the money? By what I'm reading, it looks like I'm the dummy, because America has been giving away the money. They don't even need to justify $2 million. They don't need to show receipts for $2 million, and they don't have to have any evidence. Are in the chat, are we the dummies? Are we the dummies, chat? Are we the dummies? Or maybe that's why the Somalians are all over the internet saying how smart they are. All the Somalians are saying how smart they are, how great they are for the country. They don't even need to verify this money. They don't even need nice houses, cars, corruption people have snuck in there. Like, you don't have to give a receipt. You don't have to have evidence. You don't have to have a justification. Okay, number 2. Alex Adams and I have identified the individuals. Nick Shirley, excellent work. I have demanded from Governor Tim Walz a comprehensive audit of these centers. This includes attendance records, licenses, complaints, investigations, and inspections. 3, we have launched a dedicated fraud reporting hotline and email address called childcare.gov. Everybody in the chat, write that down. Childcare.gov. Childcare, your sound got muffled. All right, don't worry about it. It'll come back. Don't be offended if you believe in the Creator God. Whether you are a parent, provider, or member of the general public, we want to hear from you. Childcare.gov. 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 This is another video. Thomas Hearn. Well, that escalated quickly. I decided to drop by the Somali-run Child Care Center, Benati Child Care, to in Columbus. Somebody in my chat earlier said Columbus and Washington. We're going to talk about Washington. This is Columbus at 5 p.m. to see what the activity was going on. After a couple minutes of asking questions, a few knocks on the door, I was threatened by a group of men. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. Let's go. This is Ohio, and we have the same thing in Washington. And look at the jewelry. Look at the iPhone. This is where your tax dollars are going. This is where your tax dollars are going, right? How's it sound now? How's it sound now? Sound much better now. Okay, let's get into it. Let's get into it.
We have just reported you to the police, okay?
Okay, that's fine. I'm not breaking any laws.
You are racist.
I'm not.
Huh?
I'm just asking, is this a child care center?
I know who you are.
Okay, is this a child care center?
You are terrorist.
I'm a what?
Yeah. No.
I'm a what? Did you say I'm a terrorist?
You are racist. I know who you are, fucking guy.
We are here at the Bonatti Child Care 2 LLC on Cleveland Ave in Columbus, Ohio at 5 p.m. On a weekday. It says that they are open from 6:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Sunday. And, you know, it's 5 p.m. right now, and we'll knock on the door and see if anyone's actually here. Doesn't look like there's anyone that would be here. Certainly not a place that I would want my children, if I had kids, to be. Wait a couple more seconds, maybe give it another knock. Don't hear anything, no cars, and it's 5 p.m., so there would be, you would think, lots of pickups going on if this were actually a active child care center. There's a camera right there, right up there, you see. So they do have some sort of activity going on. There's a boutique right next door, so with Arabic writing on it. There's someone looking through now the corner, so she just popped through. I don't know if she's gonna come out or not. I didn't see any kids in there, don't see any pickups going on, but there was a woman in there, so she did peek through, not opening the door. We'll wait another 10 seconds or so, we'll see. Don't believe they're going to be coming to the door, but there was someone peeking through right through that window, so there are people in there, or at least one person that we know of. Does not appear to be an actual daycare center though, so should be some investigations going into this soon, hopefully. Hey man, is this a child care center? Hey, is this a child care center?
Why are you recording?
I'm asking a question. Is this a child care center?
Why are you recording?
Is this a child care center?
No. Stop recording.
It's not our child. Why can't I record?
Stop recording. You're resisting. Why are you recording?
Because I'm curious if this is a child care center.
Where are you from?
I'm from Ohio.
No. Who's into you?
Me. I'm an independent person. I own my own company.
So you are a YouTuber, so you need social media.
I mean, I represent myself.
We have just reported you to the police, okay?
Okay, that's fine. I'm not breaking any laws.
You are racist.
I'm not.
Huh?
I'm just asking, is this a child care center?
I know who you are.
Okay, is this a child care center?
You are terrorist.
I'm a what?
Yeah. No.
I'm a what? Did you say I'm a terrorist?
You are racist. I know who you are, fucking guy.
You said I'm fucking gay, I guess? Is that what you just said? Are there any kids in there? Is this an actual child care center? Okay. Have a good one.
Okay. Have a good one. Okay. Okay, have a good one. This is a child care center. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that was a child care center. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe that that's a child care center. And you know what I don't get about the Democrats? Well, the Democrats keep saying that it's something wrong with people going to a daycare, expecting it to be a daycare. My whole life, I'm older than anybody in the chat. Do you know my whole life?
It's right there.
Schools, if you go to a school, like I've had kids, anybody in the chat had kids. When you have a child, you go to daycare to see if you want to have your children in that daycare. You look on the outside, you look at everything he just did. I would do if I was a father and I was looking for a daycare provider for my child, right? Can y'all hear me good? Because I know the sound be tripping. Let me know if y'all can hear me good right now, man. Because I just seen a bunch of people drop off. If you are a father, right? If you are a parent, when you have a child, you go from daycare to daycare, and then you find out, with a weed leaf on his ring, exactly. You go from daycare to see if you want your children to go there. So when the Democrats are talking about, I wouldn't let nobody just come. Well, you never had a kid. That sounds idiotic, because everyone who's ever had a child has done this. Everyone who's ever had a baby who needed daycare does exactly this. We go and we investigate because we're going to drop our babies off there. We're going to give them money. So we might secretly look and see how they treat the kids. We may quietly listen to the door. We may knock on the door. We may ask people in the parking lot, hey, does your children go here? Do they have good teachers? Or do they have good staff? Are they kind to the children? Are they clean? Are the bathrooms clean? That's what, and sometimes you got to tell your wife, hey, baby, you can't be asking strangers all those questions. Hey, baby, stop going up to people in the parking lot and asking them if they like this school or not. Anybody real? Everybody's a fucking robot. But 2025 is over. 2025 is over. It makes perfect sense to go up to a daycare or a school and expect it to be a school. And it makes perfect sense for adults in America to go to a school and investigate it. This is what we do. Some people get on lists, Mellorules. People pay Mellorules tax. People get waivers to go to different schools in different areas. How do parents know about that school? Why would a parent go through so much trouble to get a waiver, to get their child to go to a different school in a different district? How did they hear about that school? Well, typically they visit the school. They investigate the school. They talk to the teachers. They talk to the kids. They talk to the parents. And they say, I want my kid to go here. Or they say, I don't want my kid to go here. Right? That's what I did to get my son in a good high school. I saw some kids one day. I said, look at how well-mannered those kids are. Look how good, respectable they're. What high school do you go to? Then I went to the high school. Let me talk to the principal. I want to talk to the principal. Why? Because I might want my son to go here. I want to tour the campus. I want to tour the campus as a potential parent. Do you live in the district? No, I don't live in the district. No, I don't live in the district. But if I like this school, I will go get a waiver. I will do the necessary policy, procedure, politics to get my child into the school, right? It doesn't matter if that's what he's doing. It's perfectly legitimate. And I saw a mother the other day. When she picked up her kids from the daycare, she said it is perfectly legitimate for adults to knock on the door of a daycare. There should be brochures. There should be someone who answers the door and say, how can I help you? Do you need a tour? Do you need a tour? Do you need information? This is a school. We have children here. It should be locked down. When I go to my daycare facility, it's locked down. Everyone can get in. So if you ring the doorbell, the owner or the manager will come out and say, hey, good afternoon. This is a school. And you could tell them your purpose and they can give you a flyer. They can give you information and show you the school. This doesn't happen at a real school. Let's go to more proof. Now, so tell me in the chat, does this look normal? Put a 1 in the chat if this is normal reaction. Put a 1 in the chat if this is a normal reaction.
Today I'm showing you 161 Childcare in Columbus, Ohio. And as you can see, it does not look like a childcare center at all. It is locked, it says it's open. There's a little desk right there, but the ceiling's all falling out and stuff like that. And if you come around back, you can see that this place is just a total dump.
No cars, no people, no kids.
Literal just debris everywhere.
No playground. Where's the playground? Where's the playground? Where's the playground? Where's the cars? Where's the people? Where's the food? If it's a school, like, you expect to see a playground, bikes, kids, toys, you know, all type of commerce. No, I don't see nothing. That's in the chat. People say it look like a trap house. I agree.
This is a question. How do you enroll? How do you enroll your children here? You can't do.
See? Do you see what I remember what I said? You remember what I said? How do you enroll your children here? How do you enroll? She should have handed him a brochure, right? But she knows that he's white, right? He's white. There's no white people in the neighborhood. There's no white kids, and there's no kids in that school. All she had to do was hand him a brochure and tell, but no, she says no. Do you think this is legitimate? I don't think this is legitimate. I don't think this is legitimate.
Do that? No kids?
No.
So how can I enroll my children? It says you get public money through. You get public money through Ohio. You get money through the state of Ohio. This is a money that gets.
Do y'all see that? Y'all see that dance? This is how they treating our country. Let's watch that again. Let's watch that again.
Money through. You get public money through Ohio. You get money through the state of Ohio. This is a money that gets.
Headed to Minnesota to make millions. Headed to Minnesota to make millions. Since they giving money away, you don't need proof, you don't need a photo ID, you don't need nothing. You don't need to be American. Headed to Minnesota to make millions. Come on, you guys, let's go to Minnesota.
I enroll my children. The public money through.
Headed to Minnesota to make millions.
This is a money that gets.
Headed to Minnesota to make millions. Get your truck. Headed to Minnesota to make millions. That's what we doing. Headed to Minnesota to make millions because they giving money away. They're giving money away. They're giving money away, right? They're giving money away.
Which in this video because
giving money away. Let's go to another video. This is a long video.
I don't know what I'm gonna say, and I'm not. You gotta pay gas tax. They taxing us.
I don't want to hear the people whining about the taxes. Let's go to Nick Shirley. Y'all want to go to Nick Shirley? Oh, I didn't know Nick Shirley was on with Don Jr.
You're at the dinner table talking with your family.
Nick Shirley with Donald Trump Jr. Let's go.
They're so mad. They're